One mile, 5,280 feet. The burbling, angry V8s make that seem like such an insignificant number. 22 seconds is all it takes to get around here when the throttle goes down and Hell's Gates open and the devil wraps his fingers around the wrists of each driver, wrenching on their hands. He begs for a twitch of the steering wheel to send them into the barriers that retain the fear and respect of each driver that dares take on its banks. It's a fight with the forces of physics, angular momentum, inertia, drag, torque. Move over, Bristol. This is the ultimate concrete superdome of racing. The surface is abrasive, the track is narrow, and the walls hurt. Miles the monster lurks underneath the banking, and he's hungry for sheet metal and fear. Welcome to the Monster Mile and round 4 of 5 in the Virtual Racing League Cup Series chase. Finian, it's time to go racing at the Concrete Coliseum Part 2 at Dover instead of Bristol, which is typically known as the Concrete Coliseum, but we're going twice the length today. 1 mile around this joint.
Yeah, definitely. What a place to have the second to last round of the season then at Dover. It's a very tricky track, and it's going to catch a lot of these drivers off guard. So if they're not careful, they can end up in the wall, and trust me, from experience, it's very easy to do that.
You don't want to end up in the wall tonight, Finian. The points battle is pretty hot, at least up at the front. And right now, we take a look at the points situation, and Connor Horn out in front of Eric Hutton by 13 points. Beyond them, there's a pretty tight battle going on for third place right now, too.
Yeah, really, the battle for the championship is going to lie pretty much between Connor Horn and Eric Hutton. Everyone else is quite about a race behind the other guys, so it's going to be tough for them to rebound from that. But yeah, Elliot Butler and Adrian Travato tied for third place, followed by Jordan Ashland closely behind, as well as Eli Hinton. So it's very close for the points battle. And
Eli Hinton obviously missed last week, and the driver that's missing this week is going to be Jeremiah Vincent in the number 8 car. Actually, no, he's here, actually. He made it.
Oh,
so finally made it in just in time. Actually, I think he was here the whole time. I just might not have seen him. I remember seeing this car earlier in practice. But anyway, he's here. We're all good and ready to go. And we're under qualifying right now, about 1 minute and 30 seconds remaining in this session. And then we'll gear up and turn them loose for 165 laps around the Monster Mile here at Dover International Speedway. And this place is known for being the quote-unquote self-cleaning racetrack here, Finian. You get yourself in trouble, it's going to slide all the mess down to the inside lane. 9 degrees of banking on the straightaways, 26 degrees in the corners. It's a very fast racetrack. They talk about cars landing here when you drive off into the corners. Actually, let's ride on board with Jeremiah Vincent here just to get an idea of what it's like to go around this racetrack. Come up off the corner here, Finian, drive down the straightaway. You get to the corner, and you almost take off as the banking drops away from underneath you.
And also, it's even more so off of the corners. There's almost like a little hill off of turns 2, and especially off turn 4, we can get a shot at the wall, or from the turn 4 wall of Vincent coming out of 4th.
And again, turn 2 and turn 4, the safer barrier actually goes away there, Finney. That's just to give the drivers an extra foot or so to play with, because if they put a safer barrier on that straightaway, it would be even more difficult to get around here. You come up off of turn 2, the safer barrier drops away, and you can use every inch of racetrack, but that wall is concrete, and if you hit that, it will end your day. There's no coming back after contact with the Monster Mile. It will take your car and just shred it to pieces. 11 seconds left in qualifying. Connor Horn in the 42 car here, Finney, late qualifying effort for that 42 machine, and he's not going to get a lap in here. He's going to, but it's only going to be good enough for 17th. Eric Hutton takes pole here at the Monster Mile.
Yeah, only 20 cars putting out a time of about the 30 that we have here tonight, so quite surprising that only 2/3 of the field have put a qualifying lap in here tonight.
Anthony's a little under the weather, so
yeah. I was gonna say I apologize if my voice sounds nasally. I've been sick for the last few days. Now it's probably almost the worst that it is.
Yeah,
I'm fine mentally. Just my voice sounds awful.
Yeah, we've been broadcasting most of the day. Actually, we started off everything at 2:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at the Podium Esports Twitch channel, broadcasting their qualifiers and one of their last chance qualifiers for the Podium Esports Daytona 500 going off tomorrow at 3:30 p.m. on the Podium Esports Twitch. And impressive racing we saw, but we've been at this pretty much all day at this point. We took a little break to get some food, but now we're ready to go racing for 165 laps, about an hour worth of racing coming your way. And Yusuf Ghali and Eric Hutton Both those drivers very, very competitive as of late, but Connor Horn, 17th place to start this race. He's going to have a little bit of a ways to go forward if he wants to steal another win. He's been on a roll lately, just been crushing everybody, but it's going to be hard to do here.
Yeah, and I think Eric Hutton's got a smile on his face, especially starting on pole. That's, again, another bonus point to Eric Hutton, so now it's 12 points. As of right now, the gap between those two drivers. So Eric Hutton doing what he needs to do, getting those bonus points. That's going to be key here, because I definitely imagine that Horn's going to finish up near him.
Eric Hutton and Yusuf Ghali sharing that front row. Hutton in a Camaro and Ghali in a Ford Fusion. AJ Stravato and Jordan Ashland in row number 2. Ashland again in a points battle, but not necessarily for the overall points lead, so he's sitting there in 4th place. Heading back to 5th, it's going to be Chris Garrett in the number 57 Camaro, making another late season start. And John Furness, a new name here that at least I haven't seen here in a while, in that number 28 ZL1 on the outside of row number 3. Trey Ryan, new name here tonight. First race with the Virtual Racing League, starting in 7th place in the number 19 Camaro. Ben Bafford in the number 23 Toyota Camry, starting on the outside of row 4. Ryan Sampsell back here for Virtual Racing League action in 9th. And Jeremiah Vincent in the 8 Chevrolet Camaro, rounding out the top 10.
Moving on back to 11th, Zach Carr in the 77 will be starting on the inside, outside, and Bailey Turner in the 24 will be starting in 12th. And then moving on back to 13th, we got Alex Bell in the 15, who we plan on talking to later in the race, as well as in 14th, Mark Emerson in the 22 Ford Fusion. Back in 15th, we have Elliot Butler in the 36 Chevy Camaro. Outside of him, Eli Hinton, who's back with us after missing last week. So nice to see him back on the track. 17th is going to give us Connor Horn, who has a lot of positions to work up to get to the front of the field. Jeremy Miller in 18th will be starting in the 30 Chevy Camaro.
And we'll let the rest of the field roll across the bottom of your screen. 77 degrees Fahrenheit here around the racetrack. You're feeling a lot cooler than it was earlier in practice. The temperature continues to fall. A little bit of a wind out of the north here, but no humidity. It's a dry day here. The air temp 73, very kind of a pleasant day to be racing, but I can tell you one thing, Finian, these drivers are not going to have a pleasant time this afternoon. Watch out, 165 laps of racing coming your way. We have 2 rounds left of the Virtual Racing League Cup Series, and this is the penultimate race. Next week, we'll round it out and finish off the season before transitioning to Xfinity cars. Green flags in the air here at the Monster Mile. Fantastic start for the 88 of Eric Hutton.
And Jordan Ashland already almost got a piece of the wall. To the inside of him is going to be John Furness, almost getting contact with him.
An aggressive start at the initial get up and go here, and down the back straightaway we've got single filed out. I saw the 23 Ben Bafford get to the wall, but behind it's quite a battle for 9th. That's Zach Carr in the 77, the 15 of Alex Bell, and the 10 of Jeremiah Vincent.
Vince is going to try to slide into line in front of Alex Bell, and he's going to get the pass done. So already guys getting somewhat sorted out here, except for the middle of the pack where it's getting really spicy.
A little bit of action around the midfield right now as we come up off of turn number 2, and Eric Hutton is pulled out to a half a second lead, but the action is still around Elliot Butler. This man is 3rd place in the point standings right now, so he does have something to race for, and he's actually tied for 3rd, so he's got to make sure he has a good day today.
And especially the guy behind him, Connor Horn, currently up to 13th, so already moved up 4 positions from the start, trying to make that 5 now because he goes inside of Butler. Butler not really putting up much of a fight.
Ooh, contact!
Connor Horn to the wall. Wow.
Butler and Horn both take a piece of the concrete out of the fence out of turn number 2. And again, that's concrete wall there, not safe for barrier. So what that means is that's going to be a pretty significant amount of damage, even though it didn't look like a whole lot. Alex Bell and Butler still side by side. That's going to be back there for 13th place right now.
And Horn actually sideways going to the inside of the 77 of Zach Carr. He'll get the pass done easily and move himself up to 11th. But really, I think one of the key races that we really need to talk about for this track is saving your equipment, and that's not even just with the tires, it's about keeping the body clean, because you don't want to get a lot of damage because that could really affect the handling of the car. And you trust me, at this track you really need all the handling you can get.
Eli Hinton used up Angelo Ronas at the exit of turn number 4. Now Ronas drops to the bottom to try to get around the inside here, Finian. And again, this place is very rubber sensitive. That concrete really likes to be rubbered in, and when it's not, it's very slippery. So that outside lane going to be a very bad place to be right now. Let's head back out up front. All Eric Hutton right now. Now for 2nd place, AJ Stravato drops to the inside of that Superman 33 car, and now he's trying to get 2nd place away from Ghali. He's struggling with his internet there, but Jordan Ashland now follows, and it's going to be a battle for 2nd. Look at the 33 all over the racetrack, and Ashland will run around the outside.
Yeah, Stravato having some internet troubles that let Ghali kind of force the issue, move to the inside of him. And Serrato's still blinking out badly, so hopefully he can get that internet issue fixed.
Woo!
But he's dropping a lot of spots.
He slots right in front of Chris Garrett in the 57 car, so hopefully that will sort itself out. But Jordan Ashland in third place right now, all over the rear bumper of Yusuf Ghali. Will that 27 car be a force to reckon with today?
I think he definitely can. I mean, he's shown to be pretty strong here in practice and in qualifying. So I think definitely if he can find a good rhythm, he might be able to chase down Hutton as well.
175 off into turn one. We described landing here at Dover International Speedway, and the transition from the straightaways to the corners, you almost kind of lift up and drop down. It's a very violent transition, and these drivers have to make sure that they're on top of it tonight. And now Ashland's got John Furness all over his rear bumper as well, so this fight is not over for second just yet.
Also, notable driver having a good day is the 57 of Chris Garrett in that car. He's moved himself up into 6th place, and he's been hanging in around the top 10 for most weeks, so nice to see him up in the top 5.
Oh, look at this battle Connor Horn's right in the middle of right now. Ryan Samsel in the 83 car alongside Bailey Turner in the 24. The 42 of Connor Horn looked like he wanted to split them 3 wide, but no, he'll drop to the inside, take a spot away from Samsel. And now Elliott Butler trying to follow Horn through the field here as they climb up inside the top 10.
Yeah, and I think really for Horn, the key for him is to be patient. I think the reason he's going too low is he's being a little bit too aggressive. So that gave this car a little bit of damage. Shows like it's not hurting him too much early on, but
caution out here, Finian.
I know, yeah, caution is out.
And I think it's the 30. Ooh, the 30 of Jeremy Miller, and is that Angelo Ronis? Yeah, they're both tangled up at the entrance to turn number 3 underneath the bridge on the back straightaway, and caution flies here at lap number 11. And Ronis looks okay. Jeremy Miller's got quite a bit of damage on that car, though.
Yeah, let's try to get a replay and see what happened.
And actually, ooh, this started with Ronis and the 35 of Banks. And then they get together and kind of collect each other on the back straightaway there. Actually, this will be a pretty good look at it. You see the leader Hutton come out of the corner. Now watch at the top of your screen. Does Ronis get out of low? Banks just kind of hip checks him, and then the 30 of Miller didn't get back down enough. They kind of collect each other, and the self-cleaning racetrack right down to the bottom there, Finian.
Yeah, both of them went sliding down the banking. Unfortunately for Miller, really didn't have much to go with, much of a place to go after the 31 gun of the wall.
Yeah, just 2 guys going for the same amount of racetrack, and then just getting collected and swept down to the inside into the safer barrier there. And those cars, they're beaten and battered, but they might be able to still race a little bit. We'll see how much time they spend off in the pits as the whole rest of the field is down here in pit lane. And Hutton's going to win the race off pit road. And will come out where he went in. And John Furness will come out in position number 2. And the rest of the field will cycle out now, but Finian, it looks like for the most part, no positions lost on pit lane. Yusuf Ghali lost 19 spots. What happened to him?
I think he's probably in the pits fixing something. Or was it a speeding penalty? I wonder.
It could be. Let's go back and try to take a look and see what happened here. I got to think it's a speeding penalty, but let's go back and just see if we can tell how he got it.
Let's go on board because the dash should be able to tell us.
He was following Hutton in pretty carefully here. Not quite sure.
Maybe he might have been approaching a stall because drivers typically do that. That's where a lot of drivers end up getting it. Is they accelerate subconsciously, just accelerate into their stall, and that's a big place where guys get speeding penalties. So you see his RPM hovering at around 32,000.
3,200.
Oh, 34. It went up to 34.
Yeah, that might have been where he got caught. So penalty for the 1 car of Yusuf Ghali. I was going to say 34,000 RPM. That's like a Formula 1 engine he's got running there. 3,400. But that'll put the 1 car towards the rear of the field.
Yeah, Connor Horn notably in 21st. I think he sat there. Yeah, he sat there for a minute 13 fixing his damage. Looks like he just has some right side damage to his car. So I am curious of how much that is affecting him, and if he was able to even fix most of it. So because he might still have more damage to his car than he isn't able to fix. and that could hurt him in the long run trying to make those passes.
Well, he spent 38 seconds on pit road there, Finney, and that's a long time to be down there, so you might have fixed something. At least got it handling a little bit better. I mean, potentially some of that suspension damage could be a little bit fixed. Obviously, you hit the wall here, it's going to knock the toe out of the car. Again, concrete wall. See Brian Chambliss heading back down to the pit lane to get something else sorted out here. Maybe just trying to get towards the rear of the field and be out of the mess on the restart. So we're at a caution on lap number 11, but we're getting the 1 to green signal now, so we'll restart lap number 15 with 150 laps to go.
And notably, John Furness was able to move up into second place right before the caution came out, so he's having a fantastic run in that 28 car so far tonight.
All right, so the field rolls out of turn number 2 right now, and again, Eric Hutton's been the strong one tonight, but John Furness in the number 28 car, he is in a great spot to kind of take the lead away here, Finian, but harder to restart on the outside or easier?
Oh, I think definitely harder to start on the outside. If we could get a look at turn 4 before these guys go back green, you can see there's a little bit of a crest as they come up over the track, and that makes the car bottom out a lot. So when these guys are accelerating, it's going to be very hard for the car to get going without spinning its tires. So I think definitely harder to start on the outside than compared to the inside.
So as the field is going to work their way through turns 3 and 4, the pace car pulls off. You see the field lined up 2 by 2 by 2 by 2. Stravato's still struggling with that internet. He's got to get that sorted out.
Oh, spin
green
for the
flag
leader.
Fly. Whoa, Stravato all sorts of out of shape as we come back to the green flag. Almost 3 wide as we get to the start-finish line.
And that kind of proving me right there. Stravato starting the outside, got a lot of wheel spin. Was able to straighten it, thankfully. It looked like he almost came in front of the field, but was able to keep it going as everyone sorts himself out into 2.
Whoa, a little bit of contact. That's the 22 of Emerson in the wall out of turn number 2. And now the 35 of Joshua Banks all the way down to the inside. The 2 car of Reggie Ortega almost got involved in that mess as well. And Connor Horn is behind this again. If he crashes, that could be championship hopes over. Look at the 36 of Butler all out of shape just in front.
Yeah, well, Horn does have a decent gap to Hutton, but really, again, every point counts. And if he wrecks here, it's going to put a lot more pressure next week at Charlotte.
And a huge battle going on in front of them. Samsel in the 83 was all out of shape right behind the 23 car of Ben Baffert. So they're fighting pretty hard here and not giving any room. And look at Connor Horn down on the bottom. He's trying to make something happen back here to the inside of Ortega and Joshua Banks. And again, Horn restarted about 21st place up to 16th right now.
And he's going to be side by side with Ortega. He's not completely clear just yet. And again, every lap he wastes being side by side with someone, it's less time that he has to get to the front.
And there's Bruce Border on the outside of another driver back there. Couldn't quite tell who that was, but obviously you got to be careful on the outside of somebody through turns 3 and 4. You can really get yourself into the fence. That car on the outside of Eli Hinton, who has not really had the best of weekends so far, really struggling to get that 13 car forward.
And Banks go to the inside of Mark Emerson, trying to make the pass. They're both going to be side by side. Emerson kind of struggling now after he hit the wall, but trying to make up some spots.
Whoa, a little bit of 3 wide here on the exit of turn 4.
Wow.
And the 22 almost hooked the 35 into the fence, but they somehow didn't crash right there.
Yeah, Connor Horn was sideways off of 4, kept the car straight, and was able to make 2 passes on the straightaway, so solid job by him. Also notably, the one of Yusuf Ghali is currently up into 18th.
A little bit of pushing and shoving up here for 6th place. AJ Stravato and Bailey Turner just got themselves sorted out. Turner still loose now. Elliott Butler, where did he start, Finney? All the way back in position number 15 up to 8th now, going for 7th on the 24.
Yeah, and if you remember correctly, he was just behind Connor Horn when the caution came out, so Connor choosing to fix the damage for the long-term race, but is currently back in 14th, still moving up some positions.
And you mentioned Yusuf Ghali about a lap ago, now to the inside of Reggie Ortega, trying to get this spot back away and climb forward again. But he's got some tough competition around him, and behind we saw the 11 of Eddie Trejo almost loop it out of turn number 4, and Jeremy Miller back here as well got involved in that wreck on lap number 11, trying to turn his night around. You see the 11 car all out of shape, and we can see another car in the fence. Was that the 1 car? I thought, yeah, it was the 1 car. Got in the wall on the straightaway, and there is some right side damage.
Yeah, it looks like he just kissed it just a little bit. Wasn't anything too serious, so it'll continue on.
Alex Bell, the number 15, right in front of Zach Carr and Eli Hinton. I mentioned Eli was struggling a little bit. His situation in the points is not looking very good. I thought at the beginning of the season this would be a championship driver. Does not look to be the case. 3 wide for a moment. Carr backs out, thinks better of it. But let's head back up to the lead here for a second. Eric Hutton has not pulled away quite as far as he did before. Battle for second now. Jordan Ashland and John Furness, and Furness is going to drop to the inside and easily take that spot away.
Yeah, Ashland moved himself up into second place, but now the 28 was able to get back around. So I'm kind of curious how Furnace could build up a charge to Eric Hutton as he now has a second chance at being able to take the lead.
And there is your top three as they come off the turn number 4. Eric Hutton, John Furnace, Jordan Ashland, and the rest of the field makes their way off. Now a little bit of a battle around Bruce Boyer and Zach Carr. One makes it out okay. We're kind of settling into line here just a little bit, and there's battle for 15th. Reggie Ortega and Yusuf Ghali fighting pretty hard back here.
And I saw Connor Horn duking and diving, making some passes here.
Where are you going to go here, Finian?
Well, I would imagine he's probably going to... Oh, never mind. I was going to say try to go to the inside of Eli Hinton, but Alex Bell is pretty much there.
Yeah, a little bit of contact with the wall for Eli Hinton. 42 on the inside. Now Hinton's going to try to carry that momentum around the outside. We haven't seen that be a viable line yet. Oh, 3 wide almost for a second.
And you can see that Connor Horn is dying to make it 3 wide, but it's very risky to do, and it's very hard to enter the corners here at such a shallow angle from the inside.
Oh, wow. Look at the 15. Really loose off turn number 4. That was almost terrifying for a second. They get it sorted out, though. Yusuf Ghali, saw him poke out a line and try to get to the inside of Reggie Ortega. Now he's on the quarter panel. Can he complete the pass?
There comes Connor Horn to the inside of Eli Hinton. That's going to be for 11th place.
Horn is still on a mission. I don't think any amount of damage is going to keep him from trying. But if he gets in the wall again, that could really be the end of his night. And again, he's comfortable, but only by 13 points over Hutton, who's currently leading the race.
I would say, yeah, Horn doesn't have a single bonus point for leading a lap. Currently, Hutton holds bonus points for leading the most laps and leading 8 laps. That's 2 points. So again, when you add up the numbers, it's going to be very close between these two, especially if Horn finishes where he's running right now at 11.
Battle for the lead heating up here, Finian. Look at John Furnace has caught Eric Hutton again. Furnace, a name that we haven't seen here before, at least on SimTV for the Virtual Racing League, chasing down one of the incumbents in the series, Eric Hutton, who's been so dominant this season alongside the 42 of Connor Horn.
Yeah, Furnace making a fantastic debut here, battling for the lead.
Bless you, Finian. Oh, really, you do not sound very good. You should go to sleep after this.
Oh, I'm planning on it.
Battling for the lead here, lap number 29 out of turn 2. Eric Hutton and John Furnace. Hutton's holding them off for now, but Furnace continues to run lap times that are just a tick quicker.
Yeah, Furnace has just been on the back bumper of Hutton. I honestly really think he is faster, and I can imagine that Hutton really does not want to let him by, because Hutton needs to get as many bonus points as he can right now because Horton's currently struggling. So now's prime opportunity to get those 2 valuable bonus points that'll help him next week heading into Charlotte. Battle for 4th place right now. Take a look at this here, Finney and Jeremiah Vincent alongside the 57 of Chris Garrett. This is a fight for 4th. Yeah, Garrett also having a fantastic day so far, but currently fighting with the 8 of Jeremiah Vincent. Vincent still carrying speed on the outside. I'm amazed with Vincent's speed, especially considering he almost missed tonight. And luckily he was able to... Actually, he might have been here the whole time. I'm pretty sure I saw that when I loaded in. I just had a brain fart there, but he's here, and he's doing really well right now in position number 5. Yeah, but here comes Serrano to the inside, trying to move himself up to P5. Another battle going on. Ooh, Ryan Samsel on the apron. Yeah, that's someplace you don't want to be. Yeah, especially not in turns 3 and 4. And let's hope we don't have to do green flag pit stops here, Finney. And this is one of the most difficult pit roads to get to in all of oval racing. And 61 lap fuel window, and you got the numbers figured out, don't you? Yeah. So these guys really, from lap 43 onwards, they can make it on They can make it on 2 stops. After lap 104, they can make it on 1 stop. So that's the kind of numbers that we're looking at. A lonely feeling on the back straightaway for the 99 of Liam Sheen. A little bit off the pace, but there is your leaders again, kind of tightening up for those top spots there. Yeah, Eric Hutton and Furnace and Ashland all in 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I was gonna say the top 3 pretty much broken away from the rest of the field, and you see everyone in a pack. You see Horn also trying to make another pass. Yeah. I don't know if you just saw that of Ben Bafford. Watch Connor Horn off at turn number 2. Watch this. That was very close. Let's take another look. Yeah, wow, great job. I mean, that just shows the skill that he has to play with pretty much inches on drivers.
But up for the lead here, Finney, and I think it's going to get tighter and tighter. Furnace continues to run faster laps, but it's difficult to get around. Not really considered a multi-groove racetrack around here. So what does John Furnace have to do? Do you want to use the bumper this early? I feel like that's kind of a dangerous thing to do.
I would wait probably till from 100 laps from now to use the bumper. I think that was a little bit too soon. I mean, really, again, all he really has to do is just kind of wait behind Hutton, wait till pit stops, do an undercut, and he should find himself in front of the 88.
Already on board the gyro cam here, 26 degrees of banking. You saw Brian Chambliss popping off the pit lane 10 laps down, and that might be the end of the night for him here. But Furnace really trying to chase Hutton down, and that gyro cam is a pretty spectacular view as to how violent the transitions are from straightaway to banking. 9 degrees on the straights, and that's why they call it the self-cleaning racetrack. You crash, you slide down to the apron like you saw with the 30 and the 31 earlier in the race. The battle for the lead continues here, lap number 37. And Connor Horn's just passed for 9th. He is on a mission right now.
Yeah, Baffert trying to do the crossover, though. He looks to the inside as they head off into 3. Will he force the issue?
He's going to try to stick the nose in there. Can't quite get it to stick. Slides up the racetrack. Throttles up. Can he get back to the quarter pedal? Not quite. Connor Horn will take that spot away.
Yeah, these guys fighting very aggressively behind them. Eli Hinton and Alex Bell.
And also Yusuf Ghali charging through the field as well. We've seen a lot of comers and goers here tonight.
Yeah, Ghali also trying to move through the field. And, yeah, what pace that one car has pretty much every single week has been moving up through the field.
Yeah, again, and he won Indianapolis a few weeks ago, so he obviously won in his second start in the series too, so he's very, very talented and showing that tonight. Elliott Butler, 3rd in the point standings, 8th on the track, right behind Jeremiah Vincent. I mean, is there a sense of urgency here? Does he know that he's pretty much out of the points championship, or is he just really racing for 3rd?
Well, pretty much he's racing for 3rd, and right now the driver who he's fighting with in 3rd is 2 places ahead of him.
And they were tied coming in here.
And actually, notably, if you look on the left-hand side of the screen, you can see 6th through 10th are all chase drivers.
You got the chase drivers lit up in purple. There are 8 of them. And no eliminations, no funny business. Just 8 straight up to the end of the season. And right now, Connor Horn has been the dominant force here. But again, started off tonight with a little bit of damage and a little bit of a struggle here again. And didn't really have the run he was looking for at Darlington. Not a bad run by any stretch of the imagination. But obviously needed to have a little bit better to lock something down earlier in the season.
I figured out who's the chase driver we're missing. It's Alec Martinez.
Wow. I can't believe I didn't know that. Yeah. Okay, well, I knew we were missing somebody. I thought it was the 8 car, but apparently not.
Because I was just counting there, and I was like, wait a minute, there's 7 people there, and then I didn't see anyone else, and I'm like, wait, where's Alec? And yeah. Martinez here tonight. Oh, hopefully he can join us back next week. But I mean, he was doing pretty solid and had some pretty solid runs here, so unfortunately not going to join us.
Yeah, he was actually really looking forward to this race, curiously enough. And didn't even, I mean, there was a couple drivers that didn't even take the start, and he wasn't even one of them. There were 29 drivers in here that were going to take the start. Only 25 actually did. So, curiously, Alec Martinez nowhere to be found here tonight. Up for the lead, though, here, Finney. We're getting into some lap traffic. That's the 99 of Liam Sheen going lap down, but Eric Hutton and John Furnace still fighting for 1st and 2nd. Jordan Ashland chasing for 3rd, but no position swaps up here yet.
Yeah, it's been pretty quiet. Everyone's kind of just settled in for the long haul, or most people have. There's currently some fighting between Joseph Ghali and Alec Martinez. Sorry, not Alec Martinez. Alex.
He ain't here.
Alex Bell.
Yeah, Alex Bell and Ben Baffert. Whoa, a little bit tight up in turn 4. Baffert held him low. And the 1 car is going to try to slot up in the line. Look at Ryan Samsel on the Interstate Batteries Toyota trying to follow this group. Look at them navigating up the racetrack here, Finney. What's that all about?
I think that's them just trying to dive in the corner. They're entering low, apexing up high, and then exiting back down low. So I think the guys trying to experiment with just a little bit of their lines as the run goes on.
And Ghali trying to get to the inside of that 23 car. Couldn't quite slot in. He'll have to try again. And Albettle's all over the racetrack trying to find the closest ones for you. Joshua Banks is now in the inside of Ryan Samsel, kind of putting pressure on the guys in front of him.
Yeah, you can actually see that Banks has flirted with the wall before tonight so far. And now looking to the inside of the 83 of Samsel, and I was kind of surprised why he was so far back, but is now trying to move up some spots. Is currently 15th.
We saw Baffert get a piece of the wall out of turn number 4, and Look, 15 car way up to the outside groove. I think there's two distinct lines forming right now, Penny. One right around the bottom against the apron, and one that kind of diamonds the exit and kind of apexes right at the exit of the corner.
Yeah, and I mean, that's really dangerous to do, especially trying to run up high. You carry so much speed, the car almost really bottoms out coming over off of turn 4 and 2 with that little hill off the turn. So you got to be a little bit careful and watch out for the car getting light.
All the way back here, Mark Emerson and Zach Carr side by side. This is for 20th place. You think they're racing for 3rd right now.
Yeah, they're racing very aggressively here. Mark Emerson currently struggling, as he has quite a few times this season.
And actually, if you take a look at this, the gap from Zach Carr to leader Eric Hutton is about 14 seconds. That's only about 10 seconds away from going a lap down here, and we're not quite done with this green flag run yet here, so you got to keep an eye. The leaders are going to come up and put you a lap down. That severely limits your options for later in the night. Look at this battle. Hot and crazy as Joshua Banks goes slipping and sliding down the back straightaway. I think the tires are starting to wear out here, too.
Yeah, and speaking of tires, let's take a look at how long we've gone on this stint. I believe we're almost halfway through. Yep, we're over halfway through. Remember, 61 laps of fuel on a tank, so these guys are expected to come down in about 30 or so laps time.
Yeah, Ben Baffert getting a whole front bumper of Alex Bell. That's the wrong car I'm looking for. Look at that. Almost contact off into turn 3, and Baffert's going to have to give way to Alex Bell, but we'll see if he can actually complete that pass.
Yeah, Bell doing a
contact! Oh, Baffert hard into the wall, gets hooked. Samsel into the front straightaway. Caution going to fly. No?
Or not. I guess these guys are so far off track.
Still great. And there's the yellow. Caution flies here, and Ben Baffert really gets the worst of it there. Ryan Samsel got caught up in it as well. And Alex Bell, I think, is going to walk away with just a little bit of right front damage, but our second caution on the night coming out on lap number 50. Take a look. They just got together on corner exit here, Finian.
Yeah, I was just about to say that Baffert is doing a fantastic job defending, but unfortunately, Baffert and Bell found each other off the corner.
A couple more angles of this, if we can here. And Bell almost kind of leaned into the left rear of the 23 on corner entry, then on corner exit. Just climbs the racetrack a little bit, puts the 23 in the fence, and then Samsel just nowhere to go. 2 of 3 Toyotas, I think, that started this race, taken out in one accident.
Yeah, actually, if we could go on board with Alex Bell, because he had a fantastic ride towards the infield.
Yeah, actually,
almost hit the wall.
He did a great job saving this because he was about to crash himself.
Yeah, so here they come off of 4. It's Baffert, and here he comes to the inside. See how close he gets to the wall. Actually, I think left a few sparks.
Yeah,
just nicking him.
We gotta get an outside view of that here. Watch the 15 car save this thing. Look at that!
Yeah, that was a very impressive piece of driving from the 15 car.
Yeah, so all right, so a little bit of damage there. Caution out, and pit stops underway here. Eric Hutton into the pits, and let's take a look at our race off of pit road here in a moment. As Eric Hutton gets service, he was our leader and does that 20, or excuse me, is that 28 car? Yeah, 28 car up and 23. So Furnace down. That's not quite right because I think Liam Sheen is out in front, scored in front of these guys. But Hutton maintains his lead coming off a pit lane here, Finian, and the rest of the drivers. Emerson lost a couple spots, as did Bell and Stravato and Baffert, but obviously some of those guys involved in the wreck, so that explains why they lost some spots there. Well, Eric Hutton, pit crew getting it done on the racetrack and in pit lane. And he's sitting really pretty. And we haven't seen the 88 dominate a race like this in a while. He had a chance at Auto Club, but I think the 42 kind of overshadowed that effort there as well. And looking pretty strong here tonight with John Furness, that 28 car. He has been really, really fast. What about the rest of the field here, though? I mean, where is Connor Horn? Up into 7th place in that 42 car after a little bit of a scary initial start.
Yeah, indeed, he has. Actually, whoa, actually, go on his nose real quick. On his hood.
It didn't look that bad from that angle.
It looks like he has a few more dents there.
It does. It definitely does look like he's got some more significant right side damage. I'm not sure where.
It has damage to his rear, too, so I'm kind of curious if he maybe had a disagreement with some driver.
Alex Bell getting service down here, and everybody's kind of sorted off here. Angelo Ronis also spending quite a lot of time on pit lane. Does he have more damage as well, or is that all? I think that's all from that initial incident. let's take a moment and let's talk to in-race reporter Alex Bell, and driver of the number 15 car, and that was a scary moment he had a little bit ago. Hey, Alex Bell, it's Kyle from SimTV. You got a copy? Hey, Alex Bell, Kyle from SimTV. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. I got a copy.
All right, Alex. Well, that was a little bit of a scary moment you had just a minute ago, but somehow managed to save the car and keep it off the wall after contact with the 23 of Baffert. But looks like at the moment you're sitting in 23rd at the tail end of the lead lap. What's the plan to get this 15 car back forward?
I know the car's pretty good there on the long run, and again, apologies to Ben Baffert over live air there. We were racing really hard there for quite a few laps, and I hit the apron a little bit coming out for him, and I got loose and got into him. So I'm really sorry for ruining his race, but the car's pretty good on the long run, so hopefully we get a decently long run here, get some of these spots back.
All right, Alex. Well, we'll let you get back to work. 1 lap to green. We'll talk to you later. Thanks.
Thank you, guys.
All right. That was Alex Bell, and he'll restart in 21st or 22nd, somewhere around there. And thank Alex Bell for letting us drop in on his communications here. And we'll head back up front. Eric Hutton, John Furness, Chris Garrett, Bailey Turner, Elliott Butler, your top 5. And relatively a good race so far. We've got a little bit of action, a little bit of pushing and shoving, and I think some people's tempers are flaring a little bit, but it's been typical Dover.
Yeah, pretty much so, and we'll see as the night goes on if it continues like typical Dover, or will we see some increased action, especially with Conor Horn trying to get back to the front of the field. Currently in 7th, so is well within striking distance.
Well, we'll see if that damage affects him anymore or keeps him down. Look at that immediate green flag. Eric Hutton takes off trying to gap that 28 car, and will this cause any action throughout the rest of the field as they restarted pretty early? The 28 car already getting run over by the 24, Bailey Turner, into turn number 1. They sorted out. Chris Garrett takes advantage. Conor Horn as well, trying to charge forward at a turn number 2, and already action on the back straightaway here.
Yeah, Conor Horn side by side with Jeremiah Vincent. Here comes Joseph Gali also behind, trying to get to the inside of Eli Hinton.
Almost 3 wide in turn 3. The 50 of Casey Lakatos, haven't talked about him yet today, but the action is right in front. 3 wide for a moment, and it looks like Eli Hinton.
Dorn!
Whoa, up the racetrack goes the 8 car.
Yeah, the 8 of Vincent and Joseph Gali are the one making contact into 1, and that sent Vincent up the track, and he's losing a ton of spots.
He's got some big left side damage there as well. That car is hurt, Finney, and hurt bad. He's going to continue to lose spots here. This is going to put everybody in a bad situation here at corner exit because he's really slow, and now Bruce Boyer's got to figure out how to deal with it.
And Boyer, we haven't talked about Boyer all night long. He's currently running in 14th, trying to take away 13th from Vincent. Looks like Vincent was actually able to get back down to the inside line. So damage definitely not helping his case at all, but it doesn't look like it's entirely hurting him just yet. Eric
Hutton's restart was absolutely phenomenal. He launched himself out to a 7/10 of a second lead over John Furness. Bailey Turner takes over the 3rd spot. Where is the 27 of Jordan Ashland here, Finney? Did he get a penalty on the pit stops?
Yeah, I saw someone in chat mention that, and I think that's who they were referring to. So yeah, Ashland starting from running in the top 3 for most of the night, has now found himself in traffic, so he's got to find himself out of this hole and work his way to the front.
Well, so far he's doing a pretty good job in keeping himself out of trouble. We head back up around 11th place. A little bit of action here around Mark Emerson. AJ Stravato fell back a little bit. He's now battling Mark Emerson for that 11th spot. Bruce Boyer just behind this, and Jeremiah Vincent got shuffled out on the restart trying to climb his way back forward. So that's going to hurt Jordan Ashland quite a bit. But we'll head back up, and look at this. Chris Garrett, Yusuf Gali, Eli Hinton fighting for 6th place. And Gali and Hinton have kind of been going at it for a lot of the race here. Now throw Joshua Banks in the mix. This is a good run for that 35 car. Don't believe he qualified all that great. Started in 23rd. And if we know anything, puts the 13 car hard in the wall. Eli Hinton crashes massively in the inside fence, and caution's not going to come out. But that's going to pretty much destroy that 13 car.
Yeah, I think Hinton's gonna. Oh, it looks like he's gonna keep it on the track.
Don't think it's gonna be very drivable here, though.
Yeah, that is a tough break for Hinton. Let's see if we can get a replay of that.
Yeah, that was just a run out of room scenario here. We'll take a look from up across the bridge. Oh yeah, the 35 car is crowded. Oh man, pancake that left side. That's gonna certainly knock the toe out of the race car. And that'll probably be night over for the 13. That's a real shame. This has been not a good couple of weeks for him in that car.
Yeah, and he'll bring it to the pits, try to fix it, maybe bring it out back on the track to at least gain some points. But here looking at Elliott Butler, who's had a good rebound, now into 14th. Sorry, into 4th. After starting at I believe 15th, so he's moved up quite a few spots here tonight.
And that is correct. 15th starting spot for the 36 car. And how's Alex Bell doing after that restart all the way back in 22nd? 16th place for the 15 car. So running that outside line, kind of apexing out low, it seems to be working for him here, Finney. And Jordan Ashland might try to follow him on through.
Yeah, and also Jordan Ashland, too, starting back in the pack, now up into 17. So both these drivers trying to move up through the field, and both of them definitely have the speed to do so.
Chris Garrett and Yusuf Ghali now fighting for 6th place. Ghali's been kind of climbing through the field ever since he had a penalty earlier tonight, so trying to get that one car pointed in the right direction. See how violent the banking is here. 26 degrees of it, and it's certainly rough out here.
And notably Connor Horn up into 5th place, so it's the highest he's been all night long. And he's still trying to move up the field, but he's got half a second back to Elliott Butler.
We've been kind of keeping an eye on this gap for the lead here, Finian, and as we continue to watch the battle between the 57 and the one of Yusuf Ghali, that lead is getting smaller and smaller and smaller for Eric Hutton. Wow, Ghali just cleared himself, and the 57 pulled in right behind.
Yeah, I think Garrett was trying to do the crossover on Ghali, couldn't get it done.
But we mentioned the lead getting a little bit smaller. John Furness continues to track down Hutton. I think if this race goes green to the end here, that 28 car is going to be a real force to reckon with.
And I'm sure Hutton is going to do everything in his power to keep that 28 behind and get valuable points here on the line for the 88. I'm sure at least Hutton's looking until we get to about halfway, which we're actually approaching within a few laps.
Out of turn number 2. Now, this is a track where you really can't commit to the throttle. You kind of have to wait until you can put it all the way down to the floor just so that you don't run yourself into it.
Yeah, so Hutton looking to gain at least 2 bonus points over Connor Horn, the point for leading at halfway and also a point for leading the most laps. Now, both happen at lap 83, so that's Eric Hutton's magic number at the moment.
A little bit of action around Jeremy Miller right now. Whoa, a little bit of pushing and shoving. Zach Carr gets sent up the racetrack by Jordan Ashland. Now Angelo Ronas trying to take advantage of it. These guys racing pretty hard back here. It's all really for 16th, 15th spot. So these guys are, again, a lot of these people like Alex Bell, Jordan Ashland, and others really got put back here by either mistakes or crash damage. And they're trying to get them, they don't belong back here. They're just trying to move themselves forward, and it's getting aggressive. Mark Emerson in 11th place. He's been holding off Jeremiah Vincent and Bruce Boyer for several laps, and Vincent's, I think that damage is especially affecting him as he was really competitive earlier. Seems like he's struggling now. Now look at the action again around Jeremy Miller. Jordan Ashland to the outside of Carr on corner exit.
Yeah, Ashland still moving himself up through the pack. Was right behind Alex Bell, but is actually Ashland still stuck back at 17.
Oh, for the lead here. Oh, sorry, the timing was a little bit off there, but Hutton and Furness side by side for a second.
Yeah, both of them getting very, very close as this run goes on. So, actually, if you look last time through, actually Furness was about a tenth slower.
I think this is now just turning into the arrow push from the 88 car and just having to slow down because he's in front of him. I think the 28's still faster, just needs to get around him to show it.
And I'm pretty sure Eric Hutton knows that is going to make sure that the 28 is stuck behind him for as long as possible.
Reggie Ortega and AJ Stravato fighting for 9th place right now, and Stravato's going to take the inside lane and try to wrestle it away out of turn 4.
And Allen also behind him, Mark Emerson, who we saw was running at 20th at one point, now up into, looks like now he's just moving himself up to 10th place as he goes to the outside of Stravato.
Ooh, I hear a little bit of throttle breathing by the 33 car, and Emerson will take that spot away. That was a great pass around the outside. And I said earlier it's not a multi-group racetrack. Well, it can be. And these guys are making use of the racetrack out there as you see the line begin to rubber in from the outside.
Nice pack of cars forming here, about 7 strong.
Zach Carr got really close to the fence out of turn 4. We're going to quickly go back and take a look at it. I almost thought he got into it. Whoa! Oh, scary moment there.
It's interesting, cool replay from turn 4.
Oh man, they almost knocked the camera off the wall at that point. For the lead, Hutton and Furness nose to tail here. And any little bit of lap traffic could throw this whole thing down the drain here. So Hutton's got to be careful. John Furness has got to be careful. And Elliott Butler is 2 seconds back. He's just hoping these guys get into it.
Yeah, I'm sure Hutton's really, it looks like Hutton's really starting to wear out his tires a lot more than Furness. Furness looks a lot more comfortable behind. They see Furness to the outside.
He's got some left side damage on that 28 car, presumably from something earlier in the night.
Yeah, that might have been when he was trying to get around Ashland and company when he was fighting early on. So It looks like that's not hurting you that 28 car at all.
No, he's definitely quicker. I think once he gets around this 88 car, I think that'll be pretty much night over for the 88 in terms of going to win this race.
And remember, Hutton's looking to at least lap 83 so he can get those 2 bonus points for leading the most laps and leading at halfway. Again, valuable at the moment, especially since Horn is running in 5th. But here he comes to the inside. Hutton's going to try to pinch as much as possible as they come off of 4.
And Hutton's going to try to use that momentum. I don't think he can just give this one up here, Finney. That 28's going to drive off into the sunset side by side into turn 1, but I think it's going to be short-lived for that 88 to try to get it back. Maybe he'll try to cross him up here and try to get him again on the exit of turn 2. But
I don't think he's going to get the run. It looks like it's going to be a new leader, 28 of Furnace. So Hutton now going to have to work on trying to get back around the 28.
And again, it's going to be really hard to do. I mean, that 28 car is just so fast, and last time by put 2/10 on Eric Hutton, so Furnace will drive off into the sunset now. Reggie Ortega, Mark Emerson side by side, as are Jeremiah Vincent, and whoa, we got one out of the fence, and that's Jeremiah Vincent in the fence. What a shame for the 8 car.
And caution is out in the air, and it's not before Hutton could get back around Furnace, so...
That's such a huge shame for Jeremiah Vincent. Was having such a promising run, got shuffled out on the restart, and now he's in the wall and cleaned off for the Monster Mile. Let's take a look. There's AJ Stravato to his outside. And the 8 car just wash up. Yeah, well, I don't know.
It just got loose.
He just turned left to try to avoid running into the 33. Take a look from backstretch cam up at the top of your screen there. Ooh, maybe a little bit of net code there potentially as well. Let's get another look.
It's right on board. Yeah, net code. Whoa, it almost hits Baffert.
Yeah, big hit to the inside wall there, so that's certainly going to hurt his race car. Yeah, there's another 6 or 8 inches there to have, and it just wasn't quite enough. All right, we'll head back up live here, Finney, and we should be getting pit stops here, and there they come into pit lane.
Actually, I just realized Jordan Ashland is already in his pit stall. The reason is he's been there for 5 laps. It's currently listed as 5 laps down.
I didn't notice that. So he's big damage to the 27 car.
So he's pulling off the track, and here comes, there's a drop of the jack. Can he get out in front?
Not quite. Furnace is going to hold on to the lead. Wow.
Oh, and where does Horn come out?
He's going to come out in 4th place right now. Potentially. We'll see how it shakes out. Again, we can't really believe the ticker because it's showing the 8 car of Jeremiah Vincent in the lead. So we'll turn that off for a minute just so it's not misleading. As Jeremiah Vincent actually is shown as the leader because he hasn't come in and pit yet. John Furnace is going to be first. But where did Hutton go?
Oh, no.
Oh, did he get a penalty?
He got a penalty.
Oh, man.
And that's going to be a dagger in his hopes. That's really unfortunate.
And this happened at Auto Club a couple weeks ago, Finian. That's so frustrating. Just a little bit too fast. And that's going to cost him big time here at Dover.
And this is the best week looking for him. He had all the cards pretty much lined up there. With Horde struggling for most of the race, Horde yet to be in the lead. And
the halfway bonus, Finian.
Yeah, now he can kiss that goodbye. So, very unfortunate. And still has not... Well, at this rate, he might actually end up leading the most laps, depending on how this turns out.
Well, I don't know. John Furnace is pretty quick. It's going to be a lot for Elliott Butler to have to go up there and wrestle that away from him. So, Eric Hutton, big mistake. And were we at a club last week? So it's 2 weeks in a row that this has cost him a chance at a win. It might just have been an inch too far. And I think having that first pit stall, you really just want to floor it out. And sometimes it's just a little bit too quick.
And also, too, the pit road is very slow here. I believe the pit road is 35 or 40.
35. It's very slow.
Yeah.
So
still the road is so why it's so slow, but it's very slow.
I mean, it is a tight pit road for sure. I understand why it's pretty slow, but definitely it's tricky for these drivers to get back. Let's actually take a look from up above, and you can see really it's a very tight area down there. So I get why it's so slow, but obviously it's very frustrating, especially coming off a place like Auto Club where it's quite a fast pit speed there. So Also, I don't remember setting this ticker up to not show intervals under yellow, but it's not.
Well, at least the top. Oh, yeah.
And I don't know why, but I'm very glad that it's doing that. So I don't know what I did, but my ticker is doing something that I didn't tell it to do, but what I wanted it to do. So I'm happy with that. Hey, maybe I'm so good at programming that it just knew what I wanted to do and just typed itself. Maybe I did put that in the code. I don't remember.
I think you said you were working on that.
I thought I said I was going to work on that.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
And I took that as you did it. So I don't know.
I'll take it. I will take it. All right, let's reset everything for you. John Furness, Elliott Butler on the front row, Bailey Turner and Connor Horn, row number 2, Yusuf Ghali and Joshua Banks in row number 3. Banks has had a great run forward tonight. Usually when he starts in the back, he struggles to make his way forward. Not tonight. Up to sixth place in the 35 Cup.
Yeah, some very fast drivers up to the front of the field, and really any of them have a shot of taking the win here. But Pacecar is going to be in, and there goes the 28 Furnace.
Green flag back in the air here at lap number 83, and that 28 car jumps out immediately, jumps right up in front of Elliott Butler. Joshua Banks pulls down in front of the bottom lane, contact between the 2 and the 22 in turns 1 and 2. And Butler getting run over here. Bailey Turner's going to get around him.
Here comes Connor Horn to the inside of Butler, now trying to move himself up into 3rd place.
And he's probably going to get it away here unless that 36 uses that outside momentum, but Yusuf Ghali trying to follow Connor Horn through. A little bit of argy-bargy behind him, so we'll keep an eye on this battle as Horn just finishes up. But now we'll head on back. Look at Alex Bell recovering from his earlier incident up to 9th place. Now Elliott Butler drops out a line to the inside to try to take the spot and back away from Connor Horn.
It's going to be tough to do, though. Horn's going to try to pinch off of the corner there. You see him, almost during the 36. You see him having to back up. Here comes Yusuf Ghali to the outside.
Oh, contact in the back, and it's going to be the 30 car of Miller around again. Big crash on the front straightaway. And caution's out once again, lap number 85. The pace car going to drive right on past the 30, or right through him, that too. And yeah, so I must have programmed that in. I didn't realize I did, but okay. All right, let's go back and take a look at the 30 car. This is actually with Eric Hutton here as well. Let's take a look. Oh, just ran out of space. Turned down a little bit. That was a big impact there. Turned down a little bit, but I don't really think that Hutton did anything wrong there. I think it was just kind of cars running out of space.
Oh yeah, no, I think that was Miller just trying to get off the wall, but Hutton could have tight to it, and both of them were at the same place, same time. And unfortunately, Miller's going to pay the price.
Big time. That car will probably be totaled for the rest of the night. He was in an earlier incident on the back straightaway, and that will probably render that car pretty useless for the rest of the night. All right, will we see pit stops again? Oh, looks like a lot of drivers thought about it. Oh, man.
Nope.
Well, no commitment line here, so I guess they're okay with that, but a lot of the field thought about it.
Yeah, I think they thought about it because the leaders were planning on coming in.
Alex Bell from 9th will be the first driver to come on down. So
yeah.
he will lead in Eric Hutton, Casey. Actually, I don't see Hutton in this group. So Hutton stayed on the racetrack, but AJ Stravato's in, Bruce Boyer, Zach Carr, looks like Chris Garrett is down here, Liam Sheen, Eli Hinton. Eli Hinton's still somehow rolling around. I thought that car would be pretty total, but
no, he brought it out quite a few laps ago. Still trying to run around to get some sort of points. Currently 6 laps now.
You sound like death. I feel so bad for you.
I don't know what happened. It just got worse.
Something bad. That's
like I was fine a few hours ago.
Angelo Ronas picks up 4 spots, leaving pit lane. Bell drops 1. Boyer up 3. Stravato down 2. Zach Carr down 2. Eddie Trejo up 1. Chris Garrett down 3. And Lakatos loses a spot down there as well. So a pretty entertaining race off the pit road. As the rest of the field works their way off. And the car's still sitting on pit lane, repairing damage. Lakatos, Miller, Baffert, Hinton, and Ashland. And Lakatos is actually back out on the racetrack here, so making his way back around. Well, it's been kind of a little argy-bargy out there today here, Finney. Let's take a look at our race information so far. 4 cautions for 12 laps, 3 lead changes. And the lead changes have really been between John Furness and Eric Hutton. And Hutton has really been the dominant car of the day, but Kind of shot himself in the foot with a pit road penalty just like last week. He has recovered up to 9th, but had a scary moment there. Almost was involved in that last accident, and that is the kind of situation you put yourself in when you get yourself a penalty.
Yeah, has made some pretty solid progress here. Up to 9th, was about so. He's found himself back in the top 10, but it's still going to be a long way till he can get back up for the lead. And also notably too, when just considering these guys came in for a pit stop here, these guys have to make it to a lap 104, and after a lap 104, they can make it on one more stop. So that's going to be the magic number for everyone else in mind. They still cannot make it to the end of the race.
We'll reset and go again. John Furness again. What a new name to the series, one that we're not familiar with. If he's been around, we haven't been around for him. But shooting out like a cannon, chasing down and passing the incumbent race winners of this series, and Eric Hutton kind of probably taken by surprise a little bit. And Connor Horn is sitting in a great spot right now, sitting in position number 3 right behind the leader. But do you think Horn has enough to beat Furness? Because actually Furness's best lap time is quicker than Connor Horn's.
Yeah, I think he might, just because Horn has a car that's been damaged. And I think Furness seems to be a little bit faster, so I think it's going to be really coming down between those two guys. And if Hutton can get back up there, I think he'll have a good shot.
I'll line him back up and try this all over again. And again, we're past the halfway point now and just starting to get into the closing stages of this race. So everyone's going to kind of have to take a deep breath. And if you've made it this far, congratulations. The Monster hasn't gotten you yet. They don't call this place the Monster Mile for nothing. It claims race cars, and it really, a lot of drivers fear this place. And honestly, it's to me, it's scarier than Darlington. This place, I mean, Darlington, you scrape the wall, and hey, yeah, you wear that like a badge of honor. This place will hurt you. This is not a whole lot of fun. Coming to the restart, John Furness, Bailey Turner on the front row. How about Bailey Turner having a good night so far? Connor Horn, Elliott Butler in row number 2, and Yusuf Ghali and Joshua Banks in row number 3. Coming to the restart, lap number 90. Green flag back in the air at Dover.
Oh, a big spin from both the leaders in both lines. But Furness able to save it, as well as Bailey Turner as they come off into turn 1. Horn up to 2nd place.
Low Eli hitting on the apron, and we got AJ Stravado around, kind of? No, who wrecked there?
I think it might have been Stravado.
He escaped to the pits here, and immediately, I think he was trying to avoid maybe a yellow flag situation, but yeah. Oh, ooh, blew in it. Oh!
I think,
shifted to
misshifted, yeah.
Wrong shift there. You really don't look so good.
I'm fine, don't worry about it.
All right, let's take another look. Yeah, we should ride on board and listen to this thing.
And you hear the RPM spike right here. There he goes.
Oh,
bam,
man.
There he goes.
Yeah, that hurt. So AJ Stravado blows an engine on a missed shift, and I have to imagine that was probably going to first gear from 3rd, or 2nd gear going to 4th. I think he was really probably going into 3rd, trying to go into 3rd gear. So again, that's the danger of H-pattern shifters. Bailey Turner might peel off the pit lane here. No, not quite.
Well, and Ghali almost hitting the wall. Let's try to get a replay of that. He got very close to it.
Yeah, I didn't really have a good angle on it, so we'll try again. We'll look from up above. Yeah, he was really close. Holy cow. And thank goodness that commitment line isn't the real one, because...
Every single person would have a...
Whoa! That's 9 inch.
Yeah. Who was it that nailed the pit road wall here? Someone did.
I
don't know
Matt
who it was.
Kenseth?
Yeah, okay. Well,
I think that, well, he hit that on the way inside. Unless you're thinking about a couple years ago, it was like Alex Bowman or something in the 7 car, I think.
Maybe, yeah.
Someone could do the research on that. For who hit the Dover pit wall there? And someone can do the research and get back to us, or Finian can go Google it. Under yellow here for the 5th time tonight. Eric Hutton still sitting in 9th place right now, and again, that pit road speeding penalty, a big deal for him. Led the most laps up to this point, sped on pit lane, and now stuck in the mid-pack, trying to get his way forward. But now 2 quickest cars in the field, other than him, John Furness and Connor Horn, are out in front. They're going to be really hard to chase back down. We've seen how difficult it is to pass around here. And drivers are making it look a lot easier than it actually is. Take a look at our conditions again here to see how the temperatures change. Up to 77 on the track. Still a relatively cool afternoon here. Mostly cloudy conditions, but when we started, we were practicing yesterday the 110 degrees or so on the racetrack. This concrete gets pretty hot. Not quite as hot as asphalt does, but still pretty toasty. And now it's cooled down quite a bit. So there is grip to be had around here. And the drivers are trying to use every bit of that to their advantage. And I remember someone calling for Digger Cam last week, Finian. Well, we got it this week at Dover International Speedway, and it was Matt Kenseth. That's what I thought it was.
Weirdly enough, though, it's not the pit wall we were thinking.
I said that. I said it was the inside one. Someone else hit the outside pit wall more recently. I just don't remember who it was. Liam Sheen running really slow through 1 and 2. I think he's waiting for Eli Hinton. Whoa, Hinton wheeling it. Confirmation, AJ Servato did shift to first gear from third. Man, that's a real shame. I mean, it's so easy to do that, and it's muscle memory just throwing these things in gear. And if you just miss, it's a half an inch that you miss, and you throw that car in the wrong gear. You throw the pedal back down to the floor, and all of a sudden you're revving 15,000 RPM, and you're competing with Formula One to get the new best RPM out of a V8 engine. Again, tonight we've had 5 cautions for 17 laps, so the past couple weeks, Finian, with the intensity of the season's end coming, we've kind of ramped up the yellow flags once again. The middle part of the season, we probably had like 5 total, and tonight we've had 5 all in one go. I think these drivers are just getting really antsy. They want a chance to win this race. They want to claim the Monster Mile as their own. Also, the trophy here is one of the coolest trophies ever.
Yeah.
There is no trophy I think I'd rather have. I'd rather have a Dover trophy than a Daytona 500 trophy. I might be alone in that, but they're cool. All right, well, we'll see if Horn has anything for the 28 on the outside lane for the restart. Let's see how this goes. Looking from the pedestrian bridge. What a cool... I've always wanted to go to Dover and experience this myself. Watkins Glen has a crossover bridge that I've been on before, but it's enclosed. You can't see anything. And I kind of wish they had like one of those, like how the buses have the see-through.
Yeah, I just wish they had more bridges. I feel like Watkins would be really cool to have like just overpasses.
Yeah.
Convenient also to have multiple
well, I mean, it's bad for the camera angles, but...
Yeah, screw the camera angles.
Hey!
That's what I would say. It's one of it's just screw the camera angles. It's fine.
Coming to the restart, 28 of John Furness, Connor Horn on the front row. Green flag flies again, lap number 95.
And watch Queen restart this time through and come green flag in the air. There's Connor Horn. Woo! Trying to go to the inside. There he goes.
Joshua Banks taking advantage of the restart on the inside lane, getting around Eric Hutton. And now single file 1 through 3, and Hutton's going to drop out of line and try to take this away from Banks again. Reggie Ortega, where's he going to go with all this mess?
Again, very curious where guys are going to go at this point of the race. Everyone's really desperate for a position as they're trying to set themselves up for the final run. And Banks all the way up the track, and you're going to try to cut down low. There he goes. Maybe to the inside, over up toward the front, though. Horn looking aggressive to the inside of Furness.
Yeah, again, we haven't really seen Connor Horn and Furness go head-to-head just yet under a long green flag condition, so now we're going to see the true pace of this 42, even after the damage. Crash behind him, the 35 of Banks spinning on the front straight. Who else gets collected? The 77 of Carr, the 15 of Alex Bell also collected, and more Liam Sheen just getting stopped in 16th. He got his way all the way back on the lead lap after all that and just missed it. That was really impressive avoidance by the 99.
I was going to say, also, again, you saw he was trying to brake, but was sliding down the track just due to physics, and did a great job getting the car stopped.
Heads-up driving. Let's first check out the wreck, then we'll take you back and watch the 99 miss that. And this is just a situation, I think the 35 just kind of crowded the 2, and this is the result here. We've seen this happen a couple times.
And unfortunately, 15 of Bell was a victim.
Oh, we got it right on board with Liam Sheen. He might have gotten a little piece of it. I think he did.
I think he got a ding on the nose, but other than that,
I mean, look at this. This is absolutely phenomenal. Oh, man. And that won't hurt his car one bit. I mean, that's literally nothing damage-wise. But he came in there with a head of steam and somehow got it locked on down. What a great stop that was. That was awesome.
And we got pit stops underway here, but only a few drivers, the top 5 staying out, everyone else down on pit road. And I think this is a very curious time to pit, because remember, lap 104, you can make it to the end here. We're at lap 99. We're gonna have a few laps of pacing until we go green. So guys, being a little bit ballsy here on a call, maybe trying to stretch it up to the end.
Well, we've had 6 yellows now, so the race off pit road, no changes really. Yeah, for the most part, not a whole lot of shifting going around. So, Golly, Emerson, Garrett maintain their spots. But yeah, you mentioned maybe stretching to the end. Well, shut your car off, push that clutch in, pull it out of gear. You might have a shot at it here. Who knows?
Actually, let's see if we can ride on board with Golly just to see if he's doing that, or just going through this field of drivers.
He's rolling around in probably 4th gear.
Let's go back to
RPM.
Who else came down?
Emerson.
Yeah, Emerson.
Yeah,
he's gonna get
Emerson's car completely off right now.
Let's actually just go kind of through the list here and see who is.
Chris Garrett's still running the engine. Eddie Trejo is
actually
as well.
Garrett's also cutting off. I just heard him cutting off. Yeah, he's clutching it in.
Yeah, not shutting the car off. Emerson has the car off, shutting it down.
I mean, that's key. You can see the RPM difference too. You go from 2,000 down to 300, so a very big difference there. Also, I just want to say thank you to Brian Chambliss, who said get well, and also update for those of you joining in. I wonder why I sound awful is because I'm sick with something. I don't know what it is.
Your eyes are watering. You look terrible. You need to sleep after this. And again, we've been broadcasting all day since 1:30, or at least been kind of watching iRacing since 1:30. The Podium Esports Daytona 500 was going on earlier, or the Daytona 500 qualifiers were going on earlier, and we did 2 qualifier 30-lap events and then a 40-lap last chance qualifier. We were broadcasting over on their Twitch channel, or we were commentating. They were running all their graphics and such. But the Podium Esports Daytona 500, $7,500 purse money for that race tomorrow. The winner gets $850 plus an Abuto cockpit. That is really, really cool stuff. So we were glad to be a part of it, and we want to thank them for pulling us on board. What a fun race that was.
Yeah, there was, I believe, 168 entries into that race. And they had to send most of them home, as they were only taking 43 for the main event tomorrow. So it was a really, it was a lot of fun. The races, a lot of great racing between drivers.
So lap number 100, again, it was 104 that they had to go to ensure they could make it to the end. But some of the drivers might be trying to save it. And honestly, with the cautions at the frequency we've been seeing them, it's possible we could see some drivers stretch it. I don't know if that's what I would go on, especially because the tires are going to suck by then. But we'll give it a chance, and we'll see. I'm on board with it, especially if it goes green to the end. That could be smart.
Yeah. So remember, only I believe only the top 5 stayed out. Everyone from Eric Hutton on back came into the pit. So top 5 still have to make one more pit stop.
Oh, and take another look here, Finian. Look at Yusuf Ghali sitting in 5th. Fresh tires on that machine as well. So that thing's going to be pretty quick. Then that number 1 car. He's been fighting all the way back since his pit penalty. He has not gotten inside the top 5 until just now. So he's ready to go racing once again, and it looks like most of the cars in the top 10 yeah, just about most of them have relatively fresh tires and fuel. The top couple, though, Horn, Furnace, Butler, all on old tires as well, include Bailey Turner and Eric Hutton in that as well. Coming to the restart, lap number 102. It's been a couple.
Wow, and no wasted time for John Furnace. Green flag back in the air.
And jumps right. I think he knows he's got to be in front of Connor Horn if he wants to run away with this. And a little bit of action around the 36 car of Elliott
Butler. Here comes
Butler.
Ghali, first driver on newer tires to the outside of Eric Hutton.
Got to be patient here, though, Finney. If he forces the issue, gets himself in trouble, it's not going to be good because we've seen how easy it is to get yourself in a wreck.
Oh,
here.
and as he's gone up high, it's all Chris Garrett now to lead the charge on fresher tires.
Oh, look at Hutton drop to the inside below Elliott Butler in the 36.
Yeah, and Butler now trying to pinch down Eric Hutton as they come off of 2.
Lots of action around that spot. And Bruce Boyer has worked his way inside the top 10, as has Angelo Ronas, who was involved in an early incident with the 30 of Jeremy Miller.
Ooh, Ghali and Garrett almost dooring each other off before both those guys giving no room to each other.
Now they're playing with fire a little bit here, Finian, as we work lap number 104. So if you pit from here, you're good to the end on fuel. The drivers that just came down, hoping they can stretch it just a couple laps to get there. Now Ghali to be inside of Chris Garrett. Can he take this spot away? Ghali's actually dropped spots since the restart.
Golly now finally back around. Garrett is going to try again. Set his sights on Eric Hutton.
Ooh, Garrett looked loose in the corner entry
Yeah,
there.
I saw that too.
Yeah, really sideways. Up front, nothing changed. Furnace and Horn nose to tail 0.3 of a second apart. Then it's Bailey, Turner, Elliott, Butler, Eric Hutton, your top 5. The rest of the field kind of sorted out behind them. Jeremiah Vincent and Jeremy Miller, one of the closest battles on the racetrack, fighting for 15th place. Just kind of fighting for crumbs right now after these guys have all really had unfortunate days. Everyone kind of single filed out here, fighting. Maybe a little bit of strategic planning going on inside the cockpits of these cars.
Yeah, definitely so, especially the drivers who came out of the last stop. They got to save a few laps of fuel here, which might be a little bit of a stretch, but definitely possible if they play it right.
We don't have a graphic yet, but we're going to take a minute and we're going to do a sim sound surge. Sound surge is, I think, what we voted on here, Finian. So we're going to do one of those. We don't have a graphic for it yet, but listen to these engines roar. I love how these things sound around here. It's a little bit of action around Yusuf Ghali, but got around Chris Garrett for 6th place now as we head back up to the front. John Furnace pulling away from Connor Horn. We haven't really said anybody could do that in quite some time here.
Yeah, showing that he's got a lot of pace and potential in that 28 car.
Elliott Butler in the 36. In 4th place, Eric Hutton in 5th, but now there's a battle for 3rd. Bailey Turner got rooted up out of the groove by the 36 car, and Butler can't do anything about it just yet. He'll have to kind of reel up and go again.
Yeah, indeed. He's trying to do his best to get around Bailey Turner, but while these guys have been battling behind them, Eric Hutton's been slowly catching up to them, as well as Yusuf Ghali.
I'm surprised that Yusuf Ghali hasn't made up more ground with the fresh tires that he has, so I'm a little bit disappointed in his progress there. But
what I think is that he's probably playing a long game. He's saving the fresher tires for the end. I think he's just kind of sitting in behind Eric Hutton and not trying to force the issue here on this early
maybe
run.
Just conserving a little bit. There's no reason why you shouldn't do that right now. 24 slipped on the apron there just a little bit, and the 36 kind of pulls up right behind him here at the exit of turn number 2. Really, battle for 3rd is really hot right now. Off into turn 1, you see the car's going to jump down, landing on the racetrack. Now Elliott Butler trying to apex a little bit lower, get that run onto the back straight. Turner slips a little bit. Where does Butler go? Not really anywhere for him to go yet right now, so he's going to have to kind of stay in line, maybe look around the outside. Nah, can't quite do that either.
He's going to try to cut it down low, maybe look to the inside, but can't get it done. It's so hard to get a run off the exits of these turns. Because you pretty much go flying towards the wall, so you have to be very careful on how you drive the car.
Joshua Banks and Eddie Traylor were going at it a minute ago. Banks, again, he's got some pretty significant rear-end damage after a crash earlier tonight. He was having a really good run from 23rd up to 5th or something like that at one point, but now struggling with that race car. 18th on back here, Finian pretty much wrecked out. Eli Hinton in 20th trying to gain some more spots. He's 10 laps down, but out on the racetrack, he's got at least 2 cars that he can pass. Zach Carr in the 77 and Casey Lakatos in the 50. He can get around both those cars and probably finish 18th if he keeps rolling like this.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much what he's driving for at the moment. Here comes Yusuf Ghali to the inside of Eric Hutton.
Side by side, this is going to be for 5th place. Ghali and Hutton, door to door, coming out of turn number 4. The 36 and 24 getting away. Almost a little push and shove there at the exit of turn 4.
Yeah, Ghali being very aggressive off the exit. He's going to get the spot away from Eric Hutton to move himself up into 5th.
And Furnace continues to pull away now. A 1.3 second lead on Connor Horn. that's a really impressive feat all on its own. But Bailey Turner and Elliott Butler have just been going at themselves for a couple laps, and here you see when Butler's gonna run out of patience. Here he comes to the inside.
Oh, he's definitely there on the quarter panel, but can he get it done? Turner forcing him to the apron.
Whoa! Runs up the racetrack just a little bit. Almost gets into the door. He'll have to back out and can't quite complete the pass.
And I'm sure he lost quite a bit of time. It's going to allow Golly to start closing up here and making a three-way battle for third.
Maybe Golly's turning up the heat here just a little bit. I mentioned that he was probably taking it easy, a little too easy, I thought, but now he's rolling forward up to 5th place where he restarted and using those new tires to his advantage. Caution!
Caution is out on the track.
Joshua Banks in the 35 car crashed over towards turn 1. 6th caution on the night, and that'll be the end of the night for the 35.
Yeah, tough break for Banks because he had some pretty good runs here so far in this race.
Looks like this one was just all on his own here, Vinny. He gets up out of turn number 4 and loses the nose, pancakes the wall, and kind of rides up the wall, and ooh, big impact to the safer barrier on the front straight.
Yeah, actually this is going to view off of the turn 4 wall.
You really like that turn 4 wall, don't you?
Yeah, because for moments like this.
All right, here's a look at it. Here comes the 35 car at the right side of your screen right there, the green and gray car.
Bam.
Oh, man. A little misjudgment is all it takes. The Monster claims another one here tonight. It's really lived up to its name here, the Monster Mile. It has, as the leaders are coming down pit lane, so we'll pull away and take a look at race off pit road. Now, Connor Horn, do we think that Horn can hold the lead if he gets out in front of the 28?
I think he might be able to. It's kind of up in the air, but well, it's kind of one of those things you have to see to believe. So it all depends on how the pit stop is going. Horn, man, the way he parks on his pit stall is always the most awkward of angles. He never parks straight. It's always at an angle.
You should take it up with him. You should tell him you don't appreciate it. Everyone on pit lane here, pretty much. Race off pit lane here, we'll see.
Dear God, he's... Horn was also sideways coming out of his pit stall.
As they get off of pit lane, the car that's going to win the race off is going to be the 28 of Furnace.
Oh, and here comes Turner and
whoa!
Elliott Butler as they come side by side at the line.
Turner, Horn, Golly, 3, 4, and 5. Eric Hutton comes off 6th. Ronas 7th. Boyer 8th. Emerson 9th. And Trejo in 10th.
And Horn's going to lose quite a few spots there.
As they shuffle on down to empty off the pit lane. How about Liam Sheen in the 99? He's kind of stuck this one out. Started off on the wrong foot, was a lap down at one point, and sitting 12th right now. And the way that this keeps going, he's going to get himself inside the top 10.
Yeah, really, it's kind of, this race is kind of in a matter of survival as the night goes on. I mean, we only have, I think, what, 3 drivers, 3 of the chase drivers to not get any sort of damage. Or any really, like, sort of terminal damage.
Horn has damage. I mean...
Well, terminal damage.
Terminal damage, you're correct about that.
So... everyone else is really taking beating out on the wall. So really it's only Hutton, Horn, and Butler that have survived so far.
If you take a look at the bottom part of the ticker as it scrolls on through here, once it ticks back over to 16th. So there's 2 chase drivers right there, 16th and 18th, Vincent and Hinton, that have terminal crash damage, are pretty much done for the night. And then another 2, Stravato and Ashland. So 4 of our 7 chase drivers that are in this race tonight out with damage. That's a big number. And honestly, if any, half the field is gone now. It's up to 16th, really. Actually, Jeremiah Vincent is on the lead lap, so he is still kind of competitive. That car's a little torn up, but it's still drivable. But we're down. We started off this race with about 25 cars. We've lost 9 or 10 of them. And the Monster... Miles the Monster is quite fulfilled at this point, but I think he's still got space for a couple more snacks.
I think he's still hungry. He's still got 40 laps left to go in this race, coming down to the end of it here. And I can definitely think this is not the last season of it yet. I think guys are going to drive even more aggressive here. From here on out, I definitely don't think this is the last caution.
Well, we've had 7 of them tonight for 25 laps, 3 lead changes. So up front, it's really been the same story. It's either been the 88 or the 28 out front for the majority of the race. Elliott Butler came out of pit road in 2nd. So Bailey Turner's going to have 3rd. So this kind of puts Connor Horn on the back foot again. And I just don't think he doesn't have the car to win tonight, especially after running into the wall early in the
game. And notably, too, Eric Hutton's going to be starting right behind Connor Horn on the outside lane.
That's an interesting dynamic there, huh? What? You look so terrible.
Could be worse.
I mean, it could be. All right, well, hoping this race ends soon so Finian can get some rest and some medication or something. Needs it.
Take some hard drugs after this anyway.
Well, hey, we have another broadcast tomorrow night too. Hey, we should talk about it. 3 Wide is starting their driver development series at Charlotte tomorrow night. It'll be the first of several races in that series. That'll be on Sunday night at 9:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Sim TV. That link is on our YouTube channel. And then Tuesday, Track Midwest and the Fuel Cup Series. Got to get well for that one because you're hosting it. I'll be out doing Track Midwest duty on Tuesday, and you'll be hosting Fuel Host Venom Cup alongside Andrew Cardinale from LSR TV. Out of turn number 4, John Furness in the 28 leads him back down. Green flag in the air, lap 124.
Yeah, you see Conor Horn tried to egg Butler to get a better start, and Horn's going to cross over. That was a little bit early, but here they come into turn 1 they go.
Change lanes pretty early there, but down to the inside of the 36. Now Eric Hutton, where does he go to the outside of Yusuf Ghali? Trying to make room up there. Ghali slips on corner exit. Another one behind. It's Trejo. Oh, the 57 of Garrett sliding across and into the wall. Woo!
Oh, whoa!
Who went flying through there? Was it Liam Sheen? Who was that?
Zach Carr, I think.
Indeed it was. Holy cow, we got to get a look at this. Right on board with them here. We're still green. Where do you go? Ah, through the grass. Whew. What a drive.
That was amazing. He was able to get back on the banking safely. I thought he was going to shoot up towards the wall, but did a great job avoiding that.
Side by side for 8th place now. Angelo Ronis, he was involved in an early incident, now recovered from it. Mark Emerson trying to take that spot away. And look at all these cars. Most of these things are dinged up here, Finney. I think only really the top 5 are without significant damage.
Indeed, they are going back to the top 5. Elliot Butler is just behind Conor Horn, with Bailey Turner second and John Furness leading.
Butler all over Conor Horn. Does he have the pace to get around that McDonald's number 42? We'll ride on board and see. I just realized I didn't have the ticker on. There we go. And Horn really seems to be struggling with that card. And again, struggling for Conor Horn is like 3rd to 5th. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen this guy not finish well. Has he ever, I mean, other than being wrecked, has he finished outside the top 5? I don't think that, Finian's going to go look that up for me, but I don't think that Conor Horn's finished any worse than 5th.
Yeah.
That is insane. Without being actually wrecked out. Well, you're going to prove me wrong now that I said that. Reggie Ortega and Alex Bell fighting for 12th. We haven't talked to Alex Bell in a while, so if we get another yellow, we'll talk to him. But this night went pretty south pretty quick after having a very promising start. He's got some pretty good right side damage now.
Daytona was the only race.
Was he? He was at Daytona?
Yeah.
Okay, well that's a plate race. Was there any race that wasn't a plate race, or that he didn't get crashed out of, that he didn't finish inside the top 5? No. Okay, yeah. So he's really good, but he's running. Whoa, where is he now? Oh, slow.
Oh, the Sim TV curse.
Oh, I shouldn't have said anything. I shouldn't have said anything.
You should trademark that at this point.
Honestly, I should. This is a big slide here. Ooh, loose entering the corner. Did he try to come to pit road? He just pulled over.
Oh, he's trying to go over the pit road. Let's back up from coming out of turn 2. I'm just kind of curious if anything really caused him to do this.
No, I think he was just going down, and maybe I think he realized he might not have. Ooh.
Yeah, something's wrong on his car. I don't know what it is.
He tried to come down to pit lane right here. He turns on down, realizes he ain't going to make it, and bailed. Tried to go forward again. But now he's down on pit lane, so Conor Horn comes down. Probably scheduled, I would think, right?
No, they only came down with 40 to go.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why I have no clue why he's doing this. So this is big news. Oh,
penalty!
Oh, he did get a penalty. Yeah,
changing lanes before the restart.
Wow,
so big implications. This is huge here, Finney. He's going to lose a ton of ground in the
Eric Hutton just has probably if we had a camera on him right now, he would probably have a huge smile on his face, because right now, Eric Hutton currently running in 5th. Conor Horn running in 16th, especially with the other bonus points that Eric Hutton's got tonight. He's got 2 bonus points that Conor Horn does not. And you add all those points up, they're going to be pretty much tied as they run
I
heading
think
to Charlotte.
it is a mistake to say that this championship was or is over. Connor Horn walked in here. Let's take another look at the point standings here, Finian. Connor Horn walked in here with, I believe, a 13-point lead over Eric Hutton, and maybe got a little bit too comfortable out there.
And again, Eric Hutton got a point for getting the pole, got a point for leading a lap, and plus an 11-place difference in positions. 13 points. They're going to be tied by Charlotte.
That is huge for the championship.
Or if not, they're going to be a point or two apart. But it's really heated up. Now, all Eric Hutton really needs to do right now is he needs to make sure he finishes in the top 5.
So what needs to happen now is that for Eric Hutton, he needs to finish inside the top 5, and he needs this race to go green. If you give... Actually, Chris Garrett is actually currently the driver.
Yeah, where is... Oh,
he's slow, though. He's pulling off. So that's going to give Connor Horn the free pass position here once he gets back around.
And also 15th place, so another place for Connor Horn. So really, Eric Hutton needs to make sure he at least finishes top 5 here tonight.
Battle for second. The 36 of Elliott Butler is going to take it away from Bailey Turner. And rockets off at turn 2, trying to chase down John Furness, who's now 2.1 seconds up the road. Huge championship implications now. Eric Hutton needs to take advantage of this. I think in the past he's missed several opportunities to keep the 42 down. Now you need to kick your enemy while he's on the ground, and needs to really take advantage of this. And he's going to hope and pray that this goes green to the end. Or even... If it does happen to be a yellow, he's just got to hope that someone else gets lapped before the caution comes out here.
And really not too, no threat at the moment. The only car closest to being lapped down is Liam Cheat, who's 13 seconds behind the leader. So
yeah, it's about half a lap.
So this goes on for another 10 or so laps. I think he might be, Liam Cheat might be lapped, and that would help out Eric Hutton, at least giving him some security as to the end of this race.
Back up to the battle for third. Bailey Turner's kind of dropping off the pace here, Finian. Really slow, 0.3 off of what other guys around him are running.
He's holding up Yusuf Gali as well. Gali trying to get around. I'm not sure what's wrong with that 24. Maybe just off the pace.
Yeah, maybe just burned up his stuff too early.
They've only been green for like 10 laps.
So. I know, but this place eats tires, man. I mean, it's not even hot, but it's just eating tires alive. Miles the Monster munching on some rubber this afternoon. 15 to go at the line. It's been John Furness the second half of this race after Eric Hutton dominated the early stages. And Connor Horn getting an uncharacteristic pass-through penalty for attempting to pass to the left on a restart. And Connor has said in the past that he just needs to not make mistakes and that it wasn't over yet. He made a mistake today.
Yeah, and that might have just cost him the championship right there.
Again, he's really good. It's going to be hard to beat him next week. But he might have to win next week if Eric Hutton's going to finish this good tonight. Oh, wow, this is a great battle for third we're watching right now. Gali trying to cross up the 24. Turner protects. Gali looks to the inside. Man, Eric Hutton's watching this going, guys, don't do this. Just settle it a little bit later. Go play some darts or something and get your personal briefs out of the way. Don't race right now. Single file, guys. Let's go.
Oh, here comes Gali trying to get... he's being very aggressive on the back over turn. Here he comes to the inside of the quarter panel of the 24, and they're going to be side-by-side out of 2.
Now Eric Hutton, he sees this. He smells blood in the water.
Oh, there's the blood in the water.
And there it is upside down. The one car tumbling end over end. Joey Logano style. Huge crash off in turn number 3, rolling down the banking. And that is going to give Connor Horn the free pass and save his championship hopes here.
Yeah, and I think just as Eric Hutton had a smile on his face about 5 laps ago, I think now it's turned into frustration.
What a horrible accident, though. This is looked exactly like Joey Logano's crash from 2009. Just very different circumstances leading to it. Look at this tumble.
There was a lot of tumbles too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I've never seen a car tumble like that in iRacing, at least.
Yeah, I didn't count again. Let's take another replay.
Here's a look from the backstretch. Wow.
1, 2, 3,
4, 5. 5 flips? That's pretty good.
6.
6.5?
6 and 3/4. 6.5. Okay, 6.5.
I'll give that an 8 out of 10. Let's look from. This is gonna be a wild view here, Finian. I bet these people were probably not too thrilled watching this car barrel roll underneath the supports holding this bridge up. But here they come off of turn number 2. Watch this. Man. What a crash. Climbed the safer barrier there as well. Slides down the banking. Well, let's head back up live here, Finian, because we got pit stops underway and things are going to change already off of pit lane. Elliott Butler wins the race off pit lane. John Furness, poor pit stop here. Comes out third. Big shakeup in the standings right now.
And also the only driver who stayed out was actually... Wait. Oh.
Horn.
Oh, no. Free pass. Sorry.
Free pass for the 42 car. Stays out on the racetrack. Will he come in and pit this time, though? I mean, I'd have to imagine you'd want to do that. Otherwise, he might just be a hazard, but... Did he pit?
Well, he has to pit this time, Mike.
Oh, here he comes. All right, so Connor Horn comes on in. So he'll be at the tail end of the lead lap, but he'll have an opportunity to make up some spots, and Eric Hutton will not be able to capitalize just yet on the mistakes from Connor Horn. So it's still 20 laps to go as we cross the line here. So potential for it to go south again for the 42, but he dodged a big bullet there.
Yeah, I think also Connor Horn's been very lucky, especially last race too. He got all the cautions that he needed to keep himself up front because Horn wasn't strong in the long run last week at Auto Club, and got the cautions where he needed to, and that helped him out towards the end. And also when he was challenged by Josiah Vincent, who's actually not here tonight. Vincent got into the wall, who was his biggest threat coming to the white flag, and was able to win the race there. So Horton's been pretty lucky at several points in this season, and has gotten a big break here tonight.
This race has been plagued by the ever-present yellow flag here, and it's been flying quite a bit this afternoon. Mostly multi-car accidents, not a whole lot of single car. I think Joshua Banks had a crash by himself, but for the most part, it's been multi-car accidents, and we've seen several very violent accidents, and the latest being the one of Yusuf Ghali tumbling down the back straightaway into turn 3 5 or 6 times. Very violent, very scary wreck, but he's out and being checked over in the infield care center at this time. 20 laps to go now, 19 here, Finian, and we'll see who's got the best one coming to the checkers.
This is going to be a very interesting race to the finish here, because Butler, I believe, took 2 tires, looking at his pit delta. So Butler out there with only 2 tires, I'm assuming on the right side. He's going to be starting at first. John Furness, who has been dominating this the second half of this race, is going to be starting on the outside in second. Eric Hutton, who's been this pretty much the second fastest guy here, is going to be starting on third on the inside behind Butler, and he's going to be faster than Butler, so I think Hutton might have a chance to take back the lead here.
Yeah, so the 36 of Elliott Butler, who is leading, also third in the point standings. 2 tires on that stop here, Finney, and I don't know. We'll see how this goes. I mean,
a little risky of a call, but I think, at his point, he's probably just throwing it to the wind, just trying to throw something out there, trying to get a win here.
Well, John Furness will be on the outside for the restart. He dominated the late stages of this race. Eric Hutton is going to line up on the inside of row number 2 in that 88 Valvoline Chevrolet Camaro. He's got a chance to go for the win here and get his... This is as far up as he's been since his pit stop penalty. Lots of penalties flying around today. We got 18 laps to decide the winner of the penultimate race in the 2019 Virtual Racing League. Green flag flies, 18 to go here at Dover.
Hutton didn't get as good of a start as he really needed, though. They're going to be side by side at the line. Green flag back in the air. And the 28 of Furness got a fantastic start.
Yeah, I think he might... Whoa, the 36 car slips and the 28's going to rocket around the outside. Does he have the lead? No, he doesn't. 2 by 2.
Oh, Butler's trying to cut him off here.
Whoa, not quite.
He's going to run him off the track.
Going to drive around the outside lane, but he doesn't have the run. The 36 car is going to clear the 28. Now he tries to pull in front. Not quite. Furness fills that hole in the outside lane.
Yeah, Butler was trying to run him off the track to get a good run off the corner, and actually he's going to clear him this time. But here comes Hutton shoving his car up to the inside.
Wow, Hutton needs to capitalize on this. Currently, Connor Horn's back in 9th place, back in the fight, so Hutton's going to make every point he can. The 28 car tucked right
Oh, and
behind.
how about Bruce Boyer coming out of
absolutely.
I was like wondering what that white car was there. He made some fantastic call. He's up into 4th place.
Started in 22nd up to 4th, now trying to get better than that. The top 3 nose to tail here. We're coming to 15 laps to go. Look at this battle for the lead.
I mean, we were questioning the call from Elliott Butler if that was the right call for 2 tires. It looks like it's a fantastic call right now.
Well, right now it looks like that. Will it look like that in 15 laps? We're going to find out. Out of turn 4, look at the 28 using every bit of racetrack to try to get around this 36. I'm nervous.
Oh, I am too.
Look at that front three battle.
And there's Connor Horn making a pass to the inside of Jeremiah Vincent.
Ooh, Vincent kind of chopped him off there in turn 3. Connor Horn now in 8th place. He needs to go places to the outside. Takes a look. Whoa, looks like they almost made contact. And looks like, oh, behind him, a little bit of pushing and shoving going around. The 30 car and the 57 get together. Pass for the lead here, Finney. Here comes the 28 to the outside.
He's going to try to get to the outside. Where does Eric Hutton go in the middle of this also? But there you see Furnace. There he's going to clear. Butler going to try to shove up the inside again.
Out of turn 4, side by side for the lead. Does anyone make a mistake? Does the 36 of Butler slot in second? Yes, he does. Right in front. Caution flies again here, Finian.
Oh, and I see Vincent dropping down the order. Did he get in contact with Connor Horn?
Oh, this could be big here, Finian. The 8 car, huge damage on the nose of that machine. And he was right in front of Connor Horn prior to that yellow.
Oh, he's angry.
I think he is indeed.
Oh, he's definitely angry.
On the hunt. Jeremiah Vincent looking.
Ruh-roh. I think
he's looking for this car.
I think, yeah. There he comes off for you. Oh, boy.
This is going to get ugly here, folks.
Oh, boy.
And...
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, he's
definitely right there. Whoa, nice. By the way, that was good avoidance there by the 42. Wow, that was excellent. I mean, if you're going to wreck somebody, you might as well be good at avoiding him, right?
Well,
are we done
yeah, you can see a lot of damage to that 42's nose.
Are we done yet?
I think we are done. I think Vincent knows better than to do anything.
All right, well, let's go back and take a look at it. Drama here in the late stages at Dover. These guys have not been happy with each other before.
And I don't know, and it's not going to change here tonight.
Let's take a look here. The exit of turn number 4. Ooh, I don't know about that one here, Finian. 15 of Alex Bell got caught up in that as well. I don't know. I need to take a little bit better look at this.
Alright, so it looks like Connor Horn is building up a run, trying to get around the 8. I think he gets tapped a bit by Vincent.
I don't know.
No, he got tapped by Vincent. Let's ride on board with Vincent. Inside the car.
Hold on a second. I mean, there was some contact here.
Yeah, let's see if we can get inside from inside the cockpit. We can see the hands of the car.
Oh, okay. I see where you're going with this.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not quite sure why he was so upset. I think the prior incidents might have... I think just the past history of these two might have been what contributed most to that. The upsetness that he had at the end here. I don't really see what the 42 did wrong.
Well, I don't think he did anything wrong. I just think...
It was aggressive.
Yeah, I think he accidentally tapped Jeremiah. I mean, granted, Jeremiah was not making it any easier on him that pass for position. Right. Actually, I don't even think what was. No, it wasn't a pass for.
It was a pass for position.
Yeah, I don't know. What I think it is, I think Jeremiah wasn't making it easy for him. Gordon was trying to obviously trying to get around him as quickly as possible. And then Horn accidentally tapped him coming off the corner, and then that put Jeremiah in the wall again. Not to the fault of the 42, and I think that Jeremiah kind of just showing, I don't like you that much.
I think it's more about the past history than that particular incident. Yeah, the 42 tried to fill the hole that was closing very quickly. Was it a bit rude? Perhaps. But either way, I mean, they both have damage now, and the 8 car got the worst end of it, and I think this frustration's boiling over from weeks past. We know these guys have a history. Think back to Richmond, Finian. There was a little bit of discussion there. They said they were all good, but again, we talk about drivers... Oh, remember also last week at Auto Club, there was an incident there as well. So this is several months in the making.
Yep.
And I think there's more to it than just that incident there. And Alex Bell caught up in another one, and he's just been... His car's still in good shape, but he's been caught up in a lot of people's incidents.
Yeah, I'm sure he's probably a little bit sick of it tonight.
Yeah.
He's just been a victim of a lot of incidents.
Liam Sheen's still fighting back in 12th right now at number 99. He's been just kind of hanging in there all day.
There are a lot of damaged cars still running on the track. Reggie Ortega does not have a nose on his car.
There's a lot of cars. There's a lot of well and modifieds out here right now.
Yeah, Bailey Turner also has a lot of damage to his car, and I don't know how, but Eric Hutton's starting back in 7th, so something happened. I think he might have made a mistake on his pit stop.
And Connor Horn's in 4th. Did they come down pit lane with all that was going on? I don't think they did.
I mean, I would have thought they did, because I don't see how Eric Hutton's behind them. Huh.
Interesting. Well, Hutton did actually. Hutton did pit.
Yeah.
So,
so Hutton did, okay.
Up to 4th, though. So, as quickly as Hutton had the advantage on Horn, and we thought that Horn might have a little bit harder time beating Hutton in the championship, the tables turn again.
Yeah, Bruce Boyer was the first car to, is the first car with fresh tires. Everyone, the entire top 5 ahead of them has not come down to pit, so this is gonna be interesting, especially with that modified.
8 laps to go. Predictions: end under green, end under yellow. I think that's
yellow.
I mean, this has just been a messy one tonight. The Miles Monsters claimed quite a few victims. I don't think we're done, folks. 8 laps to go in the penultimate race of the 2019 Virtual Racing League chase, and already
Turner's
crashing.
Spinning to the inside. Still no caution. Green flags back
here
in the
we
air.
go, and big
there's the
junk
caution
on
on
the
the
front
start.
Oh man, from green to yellow, and
that didn't take long.
Yeah, well,
and that's gonna set us up for the final restart of the night.
it will be the last restart of the night. Let's go. We're gonna go back and take a look first at this incident here between the 11 and the 14. We get hit by Liam Sheen there. I think.
Yeah.
So there's too many cars in too little places, and I want to take a look at what happened to Bailey Turner. Maybe just.
I think that was a classic case of spinning his tires.
Yeah, I actually can't. There he is. Just throttled up and lost it down there. Pounded it into the fence and dead sideways there. So he's going to lose a bunch of spots. All right, well, we'll line him up again and go another time here, Finian. But, well, we predicted it would end under yellow, and we got one. I think that increases our chances of finishing under yellow just a little bit more.
And the way they're lining up, okay, never mind. This isn't going to change that much. First, still going to be on the inside. Rodas to the outside, so decent recovery.
Where did Rodas come from? He crashed at the start of the race. We thought he was done.
Well, I think because he stayed out. That
matter. He's 2nd place. This might end under yellow. He might steal a top 3 out of this after crashing.
I think staying out, that's really going to help him out. Butler and Connor Horn, one of the drivers that. Oh, even Ortega's still back out there. So the entire top 5 has not pit recently. Everyone past Eric Hutton has.
I mean, I'm impressed. I know he stayed out. I know that he kind of threw caution to the wind here and just going for it with all the yellows. But 26th starting position, gets caught up in a wreck early with Jeremy Miller in the 30 car on the back straightaway in the first 15 laps. Gets involved in several other wrecks throughout the day, and is sitting 2nd place right now in front of many other drivers that have been in front of him all day long. What a great strategy call that is. Again, we are now double-digit cautions. I think that might be closing in on a Virtual Racing League record for 2019.
Yeah, it's been a very clean season. Actually, well, there have been a few.
There was early on in the going, I think Chicago, Michigan was a little rough, but for the most part, been a pretty solid season. You need to go to bed after this. Yeah,
I'm dying here.
Yeah. Go get a drink of water.
I'll be fine.
All right.
Oh boy.
Who is the Mr. Where did he come from?
Honestly, I say Bruce Boyer.
That's not
the first time we said that. He's appeared.
Agreed. 100% Bruce Boyer is the Mr. Where did he come from? Not a scratch on that car.
Yeah, although that can change very much so in this next
Don't
few
curse
laps.
the dude. Yeah, I probably cursed him anyway, so it's fine. But where did he come? I mean, literally, where did he come from? He started. Well, need to get that out of the way here. Started back in 22nd. Was up as high as 4th at one point. Now riding around in 8th place. So.
And the only reason he's back in 8th is because several drivers stayed out. We probably should have pit. Really looking at the 2 and the 31, they both have pretty significant damage to their cars, but have still are still out on the track.
All right. Well, we're gonna have a restart with probably 3 to go.
Yeah. And
we predicted that this race would probably end under yellow. It's been really the case most of the night. But this race has been fantastic from start to finish. So the first half of the race, we had 1 or 2 cautions. The second half, we said 7 or 8. And it's really been the case of the second half of this event. Had some green racing throughout. We have a little bit of angry drivers and,
Still, we're going to have angry drivers.
Oh, I don't think there's anyone to walk out of here happy. I don't think Dover is supposed to do that. You leave Daytona happy. just to have a chance to win. You don't leave Dover happy. You could win the race at Dover. Your car's still tore up. I mean, it's like Monster's hungry. He's going to eat. Miles is going to munch on those race cars. And you should have made a Miles the Monster camera. What's that?
Where would I put that? Oh, like
at the statue.
Well, one of the scenic cams is, I don't know which one, but it'll appear at some point.
We'll go there and we'll see. So, we should have one to green this time by... Yes, we do. And we'll let this camera cycle around to see if we can get a look at Miles the Monster, see if he looks like he's still hungry. I don't think we're done just yet. There he is! There's Miles the Monster! And, yeah, holding the number 08 car. He's been probably holding number... He's interchanged that with every other car in the field here.
They really should have done that. They should have put the newer stock cars in there.
That would be cool. Well, we wouldn't get a rescan, but this place probably won't be rescanned for decades because it hasn't changed at all. Yeah. All right, Finian, 3 laps to go to determine the winner of the penultimate race of the Virtual Racing League Cup Series. It's been quite the night of entertainment here on SimTV. Remember, tomorrow night, 3-wide development series action from Charlotte Motor Speedway. And that's where we're headed next week here, right? To conclude out the season finale for Virtual Racing League at Charlotte Motor Speedway next week. The point situation got pretty spicy this afternoon, especially if that 42 car doesn't finish this race, which is always a possibility. Coming to the green flag, the pace car will pull off the racetrack. We have 3 miles left in this race. 162 laps complete. 3 to go. Green flag back in the air. John Furness takes him down. If caution comes out here, the race is over, and we might have one right here. Eric Hutton trying to find a place to go around the 36th of Elliott Butler. 3 wide right now. Reggie Ortega trying to do something with that destroyed race car.
And here comes the 88 of Eric Hutton to the inside of Connor Horn. This is big here. Hutton needs to make sure that he gets points on that 42.
And he's going to drive underneath him and take that place away. The 42 car really slow here, Finney. He's got damaged big time.
Yeah, remember, you got some pretty significant impact to the damage with the 8 car.
2 laps to go. A lot of action around 9th place Jeremy Miller right now. And, Alex Bell's going to get turned. Spinning out of turn number 2. Hard to the fence.
And caution is out.
Race over. John Furness will be your winner here at Dover. Angelo Ronas 2nd. Eric Hutton 3rd place. Wow.
And Connor Horn's going to come home in 6th. And I think he's kind of happy that that caution came out where it did. He could have lost another position to Bruce Boyer behind.
White flag and yellow flag are out. One more time around, and it'll be behind the Ford FR500 pace car.
And how about Angelo Rodas making some great
I told you,
a great call there.
Incredible call.
Yeah.
I dig it. An incredible strategy move. This impresses me almost as much as his wreck avoidance at Daytona at the beginning of the season. Remember how I was like oogling over that for months? Yeah, that was as cool as that. What about John Furness? First time in the series here, Finian. Comes out of a cannon and will pick up a victory. That is impressive. Checkered flag flies out of turn number 4. And John Furness in the number 28 DC Solar car. The irony is that Connor Horn's usually in the DC Solar machine. John Furness picks up his first victory in his first start in the Virtual Racing League. Angelo Ronas, an incredible 2nd place finish after a wild night. Eric Hutton rebounds after a pit road penalty to 3rd. Elliott Butler, a solid night in 4th. And Mark Emerson going to come home in 5th place. Connor Horn's going to take home 6th. Look at everyone congratulating John. That's really cool to see. And everyone kind of scrambling around. Jeremy Miller pulled off a top 10 too. As did Jeremiah Vincent, Bruce Boyer, Reggie Ortega. Look at Reggie Ortega's car. This thing's destroyed. There's no nose on that car. Wow. What a way to end off the penultimate race of the season. This was a wild one for sure. That 28 car is going to come back around, and he will rightfully be doing burnouts in that DC Solar number 28, a throwback to Davey Allison's machine. And at the start-finish line, he'll burn it down here at Dover. He conquers the Monster Mile. Look at your results, Finian. From 11th on back, Eddie Trejo, Bailey Turner, Liam Sheen, Alex Bell, Chris Garrett, Eli Hinton. Disappointing night for that 13 car for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I think he's going to try to walk away from this with his head held up high and Aegis Battle running out.
21st. The rest of the drivers really didn't make it very far. 73 laps down for Ben Baffert on back. So this will cycle back around to show you your top 10 there. John Furness and Angelo Ronis, Eric Hutton, Elliot Butler, Mark Emerson, your top 5. What a drive for Ronis and Furness. First time out here. Pretty impressive. That'll round out the racing here at Dover International Speedway. While Furness does his burnouts, we'll go to break. We'll be back in just a couple minutes with interviews, and we'll wrap up the broadcast here tonight. Stay with us. Welcome back live here to SimTV. Here now with race winner John Furness, driver of the number 28 DC Solar Camaro. John, first of all, that was an incredible drive. And again, first time in this series and first win as well, picking it up at the Monster Mile. Walk us through that incredible battle with Eric Hutton and holding off the entire field in late race restarts.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I had a great time. This is my first time out here. Joined the league a couple weeks ago and saw we were at Dover tonight, so I decided to get on and give it a shot. And yeah, I had a great battle with Eric there. That was a lot of fun. I followed him for quite a few laps just to see the line he was running and trying to figure out how I could get around. And he raced me hard and he raced me clean, and that was probably the highlight of my race, other than getting the win there.
It seemed like when you were following the 88, it seemed like it might have been a little bit difficult to pass. Did you feel like you could use anything other than the bottom lane until the rubber had really kind of come in on the outside lane?
Yeah, it was really tough to pass, and that's why I followed him for so long. I felt like we may have been a little bit faster, but I'm not really used to running this A car, so I thought maybe I was just chewing up my tires there. But yeah, we started going to the top, well, the middle, I should say, to try and get a run off, and I think that's how we ended up getting around him. Just get a good run off the corner, a good drive, try not to spin the tires, and that's what I love about this track. It's tough. You got to run the track hard and not run each other too hard. So congrats to everybody else that finished in the top 5, and that was a lot of fun.
Well, let me tell you, it was fun. I think you were probably one of the only cars that didn't have significant damage on your car. Getting out of here unscathed is a feat within itself, but obviously winning a race out here is impressive as well. John, thanks for talking to us. We hope to see you back a lot more here in the future. Obviously, you're very, very skilled, and we're looking forward to seeing you in victory lane many more times. Thanks for talking to us.
Yeah, looking forward to it, guys. Thanks a lot for the broadcast, and I'd like to thank the league admins for everything they do to put on this good show. Appreciate it.
All right, have a good night, John.
Thank you, you too.
All right, we're going to talk to Angelo Ronis now, driver of the number 31. Angelo, the night started off on a little bit of a low note, getting involved with the 30 of Jeremy Miller on the back straightaway. Kind of a battle all night, just trying to stay out of trouble. There was a lot of accidents, 11 cautions, I believe, maybe even 12 at the end there. But a strategy call puts you in second place at the end, and you held on. Incredible decision there, and what led you to make that?
Yeah, I knew that throughout the race, my car definitely wasn't the strongest because being multiple incidents, that's definitely going to do it. But yeah, I thought if I didn't do this, there was no way I was going to be close to the front. So made that strategy change, and looks like that worked out.
Obviously, the strategy call was great, but what about the on-track product tonight? We saw a lot of yellows. It seemed like passing was a little bit difficult. What was it like back there towards the mid-pack, just trying to get around some of the drivers, even if you were quicker? Was it that difficult, or could you just pick a different line and get around on the outside?
Yeah, I'm not sure how, like everything else on the broadcast, not sure how it looked, but yeah, from my perspective, you had to make sure you had a good run getting out of 3 and getting out 1, just to make sure you get that good run. Otherwise, you're just going to be straight behind the guy. I believe I was faster than one driver for about 5 or 6 laps, but just couldn't find that right line.
All right, Angelo. Well, thanks for talking to us. Congrats. A very, very solid second place finish for the 31 driver tonight. We'll see you next week, and thanks for talking to us.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
All right, and next we'll be talking to third place Eric Hutton, driver of the number 88. Eric, a little bit closer in the point standings heading into next week's season finale, but at one point you had Connor Horn kind of in a chokehold there as he was a lap down after making a penalizable move on the restart, but he got a free pass. Those last 50 laps, lots of emotions running through the head, lots of gears turning, probably trying to figure out the strategy. What was going through your head there in the closing laps?
Yeah, I didn't even know what was going on. I was trying to get updates where Connor was and just trying to get position. The last 10 laps I had fresh tires, so I was hoping it would go green, but of course it didn't. So, still managed to get third. Just I was real frustrated after that pit stop where I got the speeding. Really thought I had a good car to stay up front, now trouble, but then the second half of the race just became a big old mess. So we should be closer, and I don't know. How far apart we are right now, but hopefully it's going to be a good race next week at Charlotte.
All right, well, we wish you good luck out there at Charlotte, and we'll talk to you next week. Thanks for talking to us, Eric.
I appreciate it. See you.
See ya. Now we'll talk to sixth place driver Connor Horn, driver of the number 42. Connor, that was a close one tonight. Obviously, you had a lot of speed again, but a late race penalty almost threw everything out the window for you, and a very well-timed caution put you back on the lead lap. Walk us through those last 20 or 30 laps and the penalty and the caution that followed.
Yeah, it was a crazy race for everyone. At the very start, I screwed up qualifying, and Eric was probably going to have a chance at getting the points lead, and then I got up there to the top 5 or 3, and then Eric sped again, which at this point, even with the bonus points, I would have been back in control because I would have been gaining a lot of points. And then the restart where I got the penalty, I mean, I don't agree with the call whatsoever. If a guy doesn't go on the restart, I mean, I guess I either pull out a line or wreck him. I guess I should have wrecked him. Sorry, Elliot, but I guess I should have. I don't agree with the call, but it is what it is. And got lucky with the yellow, and then made some crazy moves to get the Jeremiah. And Jeremiah, he just does what he wants to, I guess. I probably tapped him a little bit out of 4, but how slow he was compared to me, he really should have let me go. I get racing you hard, but every time I tried to get the run out of a turn, he would visibly let off, so I wouldn't get by. And then when I went to the outside, he tried to wall me, gave me as little room as possible out of 4, and then because he didn't give me room, I ran into his right rear because I was faster than him, and then he just took the right. He says he's over it every time, and then this has happened. I think that's 2 or 3 straight weeks, really. starting to lose count. It's not really the Vincent brothers that make me upset. I mean, Josiah's fine. I'm cool with Josiah. I just don't know. I don't know what else I can do around Jeremiah. I really don't. But I should be happy about it, but it's hard to be happy when at one point you had the championship almost locked up because of what happened to Eric. But it is what it is. I think I should have like a 5-point lead and go on and win it at Charlotte.
All right, Connor. Well, obviously, next week, performance is going to be necessary, but you've been rock solid here. Actually, Finney and I were looking at your stats. I think this is the first time since Daytona that when you didn't crash, you were outside the top 5. So you're still looking pretty good for next week, and we'll see you there.
Yeah, see you. It's going to be a fun one with Eric.
All right. Have a good night, Eric, or Connor.
You got it wrong again. I'll see you.
All right. We'll see you later.
Good job with the stream again. I'm sure y'all were yelling again. That's dope.
Absolutely. All right, Finney, let's talk to Jeremiah Vincent.
Talk to the man of the hour.
Yep. Hey, Jeremiah Vincent, Kyle from SimTV. You got a copy?
Yep.
All right, well, the saga continues. Obviously, Connor says that things are not over yet. He says that, in his mind, he's got no problem with Josiah, but things seem to continue between you and him, and I want to get the other side of the story as well. A little bit of contact there between you and the 42, and it worked out a lot better for him than it did for you. I'm just curious as your thoughts on that and moving forward into next week's finale.
Well, I mean, Connor Horn does what he normally does, just runs people over. I gave him the room earlier. He put me in a wall. That's how I got down power. Then I gave him the room on the outside, the exit 4. I'm watching the video right now, and he just came down the exit and turned me in the wall. There's nothing much more he could do. He just needs to clean up his act and his racing.
In your mind, is this over between you two?
Well, according to the owner of the league, it has to be, because his driver can get away with anything, but if anybody gets near him, you can't touch him. So he'll get away with it. All
right. Well, we'll let you get on your way, Jeremiah. We'll see you next week at Charlotte. Still a great performance, top 10 result after all that. So congrats on that, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you. You guys did a great job.
Thanks a lot. We'll see you later. Oh, Finian, wow. There is lots of drama heading into the season finale next week at Charlotte. Finian, obviously some disgruntled folks out there. It ain't over between those two, I can tell you that much.
Oh, yeah, definitely not. I mean, you can hear it from both sides of it that this has been far from over, and it's been brewing over the last few weeks. Didn't really think that anything would happen until really last week, and that really showed still a little bit of a bad air between these two guys, and I think it's going to probably continue over into next week.
Yeah, and you know what's funny about this race, Fitting, is that this is the first time in a while that we've seen drivers really let go. Kind of get up on the wheel and kind of rub and push and shove, and it resulted in quite a few accidents. But for the most part here, Finian, good racing regardless. But there was a lot of incidents out there as well. Yusuf Ghali going for a wild tumble earlier tonight as well, but ultimately gave the win to John Furness. First race, first win, and comes home victorious here at Dover International Speedway. Again, the drama between the 42 of Connor Horn. Can he afford a distraction like this heading to next week? That championship lead is getting so tight. I don't know if he's got to keep his focus somewhere else other than Jeremiah Vincent.
Well, I think he kind of has to. He can't afford to really get hung up by this, because if he's focused on the 8 of Jeremiah Vincent, he can't really pay attention to the 88 of Eric Hutton, and it's going to be very close, I think, between those two drivers.
All right, well, that'll wrap up the coverage here from Dover International Speedway. Next week, it's the season finale for the Virtual Racing League Cup Series at Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's the home track for a lot of NASCAR folks, including many of the drivers. And next week, Finian, we're going to wrap it all up. It's going to be a 200-lap race, and Connor Horn's going to have to go in there defending from charging Eric Hutton, who's finally got his car in the right direction in the late part of the season. And will there be more interaction between Jeremiah Vincent and Connor Horn? It's been said that it needs to be over, but I don't think we're done yet. We'll see you next week. We'll be on live tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, with the 3-wide driver development series from Charlotte Motor Speedway. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.